And we're live. What's going on, guys? We are back here with another episode of Armbars and Suplexes here on YouTube, brought to you by way of StreamYard. And I think these first 2 weeks went really well. And I'm really excited to get back into this. We're kind of recording on a weird day. It's the day before Thanksgiving. But you know what?
Eve.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving Eve. We usually record on Sundays, but life happens. So we're here doing this. Maybe some people will be enjoying this on their night before Thanksgiving, enjoying a beer like me.
They need to get their fight fix, their wrestling fix.
Yeah, right before tomorrow, they can enjoy all the football that they're going to get.
That's
so
right.
I'm Alec. You can find me at Alec Miller 0423. It's right here. There you go. Just go there on Twitter and follow me there, where you can catch all my crazy wrestling things where I kind of went off on wrestling internet wrestling community last weekend just because it was a little annoying.
I know, man.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. And then I got joined as always by my man Jesus. What's going on, brother?
I'm Jesus. You can catch me at The Real Jesus, and that is how do you do this right here?
No, weird, man. You gotta learn
this way. No,
the other way.
That way. There it is. At The Real Jesus, and that's spelled JEEZUS on Twitter, where you can find me and my shenanigans about boxing, wrestling, MMA, and then also your occasional politics, which we won't talk about here. But yeah, I'm all over the place.
I don't know much about politics. I stay out of that because I'm ignorant.
Ignorance is bliss, right? Like that dude said in the Matrix. So
yeah, exactly. So, man, this past weekend was great in wrestling. So, everyone knows if you watched this show before that I'm constantly like shouting out at the top of the heavens about the brilliance that is NXT. And NXT Takeover War Games happened. This is the third War Games event. Little fun fact: I was actually at the very first NXT War Games.
Oh, nice!
In Houston, fantastic match. Great time. Took my girlfriend. She was kind of her first time watching wrestling. She begrudgingly went, but she had fun.
Don't they always?
Yeah, but as they usually do, they left having a good time.
Yeah. Well, real quick before you get started, because I know you're excited about it, I can just tell you there was a lot of feedback about NXT on Twitter on my timeline. So I'm very curious and excited to hear what you have to say about it. And I just want to go into it, man. I just want to see because I feel right now, man, like I feel like the student has become the master, and NXT is kind of what people want to see more than the WWE. That's just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You're not wrong. That's been the case for a long time, and people thought with it going to USA, things were going to change. And honestly, like people were really afraid. Like it was insane the amount of people that were thinking that NXT was going to automatically become like how Raw was becoming and like how SmackDown was, but SmackDown's getting a little better week by week. I think Fox is really starting to throw their input in there and change things around. But I'm really surprised. I was really surprised when people thought that NXT was going to go down in quality, and it really hasn't, man. It's been the same. Honestly, the only thing is, back then on NXT when it was 1 hour, you would get episodes where you wouldn't see certain superstars.
It left you wanting more.
Yeah, it left you wanting more, but after a while, you were like, dude, I haven't seen the NXT champion around. Like, why isn't so and so? Like back then, it was like, why isn't Aleister Black or Andrade showing up? Like because it's week by week, but they record like 4 episodes in one night, so they give them rest between like matches. Say they're supposed to wrestle twice that night, they give them a rest between, so you don't really see them, and it kind of. I didn't like it because it made it felt like a minor league type brand where you're just kind of like, yeah, this obviously isn't as important as like the WWE championship. But now, like I think they're making the championship seem more and more legit, especially with how Survivor Series went down, which we will talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I just got a lot of positivity for NXT. I got a lot of people saying that they want more and that why can't WWE be this way or learn from NXT. And I don't know, man. I just think that's kind of a unique issue in itself where the parent company is kind of being, right now, at least in this time and space, being overshadowed by the smaller feeder system. You know what I mean? Like, can you think of this in like NFL terms or NBA terms? If the G League was a lot funner than the NBA, you know, or and then in NFL it's kind of like college, and college doesn't have a huge following, but it's not necessarily their minor leagues. You know, it's not necessarily. It is a feeder system, but it's also different. You know, or maybe like. Yeah,
it's actually a good way you described it. That might be the best way to describe it. Is that it's the college football to WWE's NFL, whereas like college football, with NXT Takeover, you have Takeover. People love Takeover, and with college football, once you get to the playoffs, dude, like everyone's watching the playoffs.
Exactly.
Even though it's only 4 teams, like it's 2 games and then the championship game. Like I watched all 3 of those games last year, and I'm gonna watch all 3 of them.
I did too, and I could tell you I probably watched four whole college games this whole season, but I'm gonna watch those 3 games.
I think I've only watched 2. I think I watched Oklahoma and Texas, and then I watched LSU Alabama.
I think I watched those 2. I watched some different Oklahoma games, and I watched some Texas A&M games. And some U of H. I watched some U of H games too.
Oh, man. Hold on, sorry. Yeah. Getting FaceTime by the girlfriend. She's not here, but she's on her way, I'm assuming. And she thought we were going to be recording at 9, which we started a little later, but it is what it is. I don't have work tomorrow, so who cares?
Me neither, man. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, or as some people like to call it, early Black Friday. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But football tomorrow, food tomorrow, wrestling on the weekend, some fights, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What is there to complain about, man? There's nothing to complain about right now.
There's really not, man. It's pretty awesome at the moment, you know. I actually think this is gonna be a kind of slow weekend in terms of like wrestling because we're coming off of the Survivor Series and AEW's next pay-per-view isn't until about I want to say January. They're gonna do or January, February. They're doing Bash at the Beach.
AEW is?
Yeah, so we're not getting another AEW pay-per-view for a while. Just a bunch of.
Well, look, man. In MMA and boxing, December is like always going to be jam packed. Also, overseas, like One and the Japanese fighting promotions, they always try to pack New Year's Eve, which is amazing too. And then in January and February, you have UFC trying to make big splashes, and they have. So I don't know, man. I feel like we're in a little mini lull for the holidays, but it's not like there's not other things that we can do. You know, like
there's plenty, man.
College football, regular football, and then plus the holidays themselves. But I don't know, man. It's just a really good time right now, and there's a lot of anticipation coming up with at least MMA and boxing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the great thing about this show being like now that we're on YouTube, like it's going to be a lot more fluid where we can talk about different things that don't have to be technically.
Yeah, like you said, we're going to talk about Wilder and Ortiz later on for a little bit. So that's something that we normally wouldn't have done on the podcast, on the original podcast.
Yeah, we can talk about Bellator whenever like it comes up and stuff like that. So great, man. All right, so let's jump into the NXT TakeOver War Games 3. So this is the third War Games event. We actually got 2 War Games matches. So we have a women's War Game and we have a men's War Game. War Games match. So if you don't remember from WCW, War Games is actually where you have 2 separate teams or 3. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. Of set amount of teams, set amount of participants. So each team has 4 participants, and the match. So there's 2 rings, 2 full rings. You have the cage that goes over the ring. 1 competitor starts from each side. It's decided before who's going to get the advantage. So the 2 superstars go at each other, while the other 3 are locked up in cages, separate cages. Once the first 5 minutes goes by, so the first 2 wrestlers wrestle for 5 minutes. Then after that, the first competitor from the other team, from one team, comes into the match, and it becomes a 2-on-1 advantage. And then after 3 minutes, after that, every 3 minutes you will get a new superstar coming in until all competitors in the match. And once all competitors are in the match, That is when the matches officially started, and the matches ended via pinfall or submission. So there's no pinfall or submissions until all 8 competitors are in the ring.
That's really interesting, man. It's just a way to, like, I don't know, get your opponent, less than 100% before the fight actually starts. So it's kind of
So and then it all becomes about strategy. Who's going to be the first? Who can take the most beating? Who can last the longest? Who do you want to come in last? Who do you want to come in second, third, and all that stuff? I'm sorry, you can hear my dog in the background kicking his bull around. It's fine. So yeah, we got the two War Games matches, one men's and one women's War Games, and of course on the men's side is the Undisputed Era, because the Undisputed Era has been in all 3 War Games matches.
Wow.
How about that?
That's pretty awesome,
dude. War Games match, but they've been in all 3 of them.
That's like the Thanksgiving Day with who
Cowboy?
is it? The Cowboys and
the Lions?
Detroit, and that's what they are for War Games.
Yeah, basically. So it was a good time, man. So right off the bat, we had a singles match with Angel Garza Jr. taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott. These two guys trying to get up there in the just trying to get a win under their belt. And Angel Garza, who is many are looking at him as one of the big. Hold on, let me get this dog some water. He's really starting to make me mad.
All right, man.
Come on, dude. Seriously. Oh, sorry. All right, man. Sorry about that. Sorry. And if you heard me telling someone to go away, I have a second dog here, and she likes to drink my other dog's water. So so right off the bat, we had Angel Garza taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott. Angel Garza getting the victory. It's a pretty clean victory, and really just gives Angel Garza a little bit more momentum going forward. Both these guys I like a lot. I think I prefer Isaiah Swerve Scott a little more because I remember him from Lucha Underground as Killshot, and I liked him a lot in Lucha Underground. Kind of wondering why he's been losing a lot. I don't really know if he has like any wins or any big wins in NXT since signing with NXT, but that's kind of like what they make you do when you get signed to NXT. Is you kind of got a job to some people. Not really a job. This wasn't a job. This is more like it was a competitive match, and they both look great. Like there was no one lost in this match technically. Like they both look fantastic. It just pushes Angel Garza a little more. That's all.
You just gotta earn your keep, or basically start from the bottom of the barrel, and kind of work your way up when you get signed. And they're a name, if they were on Lucha Underground, they're a name, but they got to start at the bottom, man. You got to grind.
Exactly, you're not wrong. And Killshot, I keep calling him Killshot. I'm gonna keep calling him Killshot. Like that was a pretty cool character in Lucha Underground, but. Isaiah Swerve Scott, I think he's gonna be something special in NXT and in the future of the company. Angel Garza too, man, because they're always looking for more Mexican talent, and Angel Garza has that. He has that like that Rico Suave type thing where he just he's got charisma, bro. Like he's got charisma to boot. He's fantastic in the ring, and a great heel. Like he's one of those heels where you just want to punch him in the face because he's so good looking. Like I want to hit you, like.
Dude, I get that with like movies. Like, man, I hate this character, and I'm like, man, they must be a good actor or actress if I hate this character. And that means he's doing a good job. But I just got that feeling on what's your boy Pattinson? What's his name? Pattinson? Robert Pattinson. Yeah, Pattinson on The King. Have you seen the movie The King?
I haven't seen The King yet.
Oh man, he plays the French prince in not Fresh Prince, the French Prince.
The French Prince.
And,
not Will Smith.
I wanted to punch him in the face, but he was pretty funny too. So, but yeah, man, if they can get that as a heel dude where you want to punch him in the face, man, they're doing their job.
Doing their job. All right. So right after that, we have the right off the bat, which I mean, not surprising because they do kind of space their matches out like this sometimes. But we had the women's War Games match coming out. So it was the team of Shayna Baszler, who is the NXT Women's Champion. You know Shayna Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and the NXT UK Women's Champion, Kaylee Ray, taking on the team of Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Tegan Knox, and was originally scheduled to be Mia Yim, but Mia Yim was taken out backstage. She was not medically cleared to compete, and so she was replaced by Dakota Kai.
We did talk about that last time.
You know where this is going. And unfortunately, this is exactly where I didn't want it to go. I even tweeted out about it, but it was handled very nicely. So I'm jumping ahead of myself. So Candice LeRae and Io Shirai, who have had a couple matches back and forth, they work really well together. They're kind of Io Shirai actually turned heel by attacking Candice LeRae. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of history there at the same time. And they start out. Then, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Bianca comes out. Bianca Belair comes out. They started ganging up on her. Then Rhea Ripley comes in. So Rhea Ripley is a big Aussie woman who is a badass. She's very much like a mosh pit kid type person. You know, I go to concerts like that where she looks exactly like that, and she's big and strong and powerful. So she came in and started wrecking house.
So she was the third one in?
No, yeah, she was the third one in, but the second one for her team. Then it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Kaylee Ray came in. Kaylee Ray came in, and they got the advantage. And then on the neck for the next person to come in, Dakota Kai walks out her cage. And just keep in mind, Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox are best friends. Mm-hmm. They're called Team Kick. They're actually a tag team, or they were a tag team. So Dakota Kai is about to go out to the ring. She kind of looks a little weird, and then she runs right at Tegan while she's in the cage and kicks her right in the face. Her teammate, her friend,
nice,
basically attacks her. Like it's brutal. Like she's just basically really angry because I don't remember if I told you, but Rhea Ripley was telling Dakota Kai over and over that she didn't have it. She just wasn't cut out for it. She's not tough enough. She couldn't be on the team. When Dakota Kai was literally involved in every single conversation that they were having with Shayna, Dakota Kai was involved in, and yet she still left her out and brought in Mia Yim. So that's what brought in the whole the frustration, and I can see it. It worked. I get it. I just think they pulled the trigger a little too early when it comes to this heel turn.
Yeah, we talked about that last stream where you had already foreseen this or foreshadowed it, alluded to it, and you thought that there was better ways for them to do it. But if you're saying it kind of worked, then I guess it kind of worked.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I think she portrayed the anger and the violence very well. The attack was pretty brutal, especially considering that she went after Tegan Knox's knee when she's had both of her legs broken already.
Oh wow!
She's because 1 year, a couple years ago, she broke her leg. I think she tore her ACL. Sorry, she tore her ACL before she was supposed to be in the Mae Young Classic, which was going to be this big women's tournament that they had just started at WWE, and she was actually scheduled. If I'm not mistaken, she was scheduled to win the entire thing. No, she wasn't. She probably wasn't. I'm sorry, but she was going to be a big part of it, and she tore her ACL before she had to miss the tournament, and then the following year, she was actually scheduled to win the entire tournament. And in her second match against Rhea Ripley, she did a dive to the outside and broke her leg, her other leg. So she had pretty bad luck. And then when you have Dakota Kai in her attack going after both those legs, it adds even more psychology.
That's pretty bad. I mean that thing happens in MMA all the time when they come back from a knee injury or whatever. They go right after it to test it, and fighters will tell you, man, that they get pissed off at that, because they have that psychological thing where it's repaired. It's just repaired. They might feel that it's not 100%, or even if it is 100%, they always still feel like it's gonna be more easily damaged. So for her to go straight for that, dude, that's kind of savage right there, man.
Yeah, right. And she was kind of angry. It looked good, man. I'm cool with the heel turn. I get where it's going. I'm kind of hoping that this leads the reason why I wanted the other way is because I think Dakota Kai deserves the NXT Championship match, and maybe with this heel she'll get it, but not while Shayna's going to be champion, because then they don't have heels go after faces. They basically turned Rhea Ripley from heel to face because of they kind of ran out of face challengers for Shayna. Because
you did say that. You did say, and you said that Shayna should already be up at the
she should
at WWE, but
yeah.
but I mean we stipulated that she was probably being held back because NXT was going to be going to the network to USA, right? And that they needed somebody there in the women's side. So I don't know, man. We'll see where it goes from here. Since, like you said, there's no challenges right now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's looking like I'm starting to think that the reason why Shayna is being held back is because of Marina Shafir. I don't think Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke are ready. Because the weird thing is that for this War Games match, everyone was expecting it to be the horsewomen. So everyone was expecting it to be Shayna, Jessamine, and Marina, but yet they were left out the match completely.
They didn't even come out?
No, not at all. So I'm wondering maybe they're not progressing the way that they want them to, because Shayna's fantastic in the ring, but the other two are just kind of green still. Really? And I mean, Marina Shafir is married to Roderick. Marina Shafir is married to Roderick Strong, who is in the Undisputed Era. He's a great wrestler, but I'm wondering if you in my hand.
Dude, you're lagging right now, bro. No, you froze.
And okay. All right, you got me?
There you
see
go.
Me?
There you go. Left me hanging, man. There it goes. It's lagging again. You're lagging. There?
Am I lagging? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're still lagging.
I'm still lagging? Damn it.
You're better now.
I'm better now? Okay, I'm going to sit here in the damn kitchen. Get the best internet connection. Unfortunately, though, it means that my laptop is deciding not to charge now, even though it was a second ago. Hold on. Welcome, everybody. You're getting the backstage technical difficulties type thing, I guess. No, I don't know why this isn't working. No, my charger's not working. Oh, there it goes. I need a new laptop.
What do you have?
I have a Mac, but I got it like 4 years ago because I actually applied for Full Sail University and they sent it to me.
Oh, nice.
It was part of my in my tuition. Unfortunately, I owe a lot of money to them because I didn't finish school there. Because my stupid financial aid didn't go through.
That what?
My stupid financial aid didn't go through. So I never finished school there, but I still owe a lot of money to them because they're an expensive school.
Full Sail, right?
Yeah. They're expensive. But anyways, let's get back into this. So yeah, Dakota Kai attacks Tegan Nox, which leaves Candice LeRae and Shayna Baszler, and Rhea Ripley to take on Shayna, Kaylee Ray, Bianca Belair, and Io Shirai all on their own. And surprisingly, Rhea Ripley gets the win by pinning Shayna Baszler.
Oh, wow, dude.
So this is going to be a common theme. I should have mentioned also that on Friday Night SmackDown, it was Rhea Ripley taking on Sasha Banks, taking on Charlotte Flair in a triple threat match of the team captains of all three teams for Survivor Series. They took on each other, and Charlotte Flair had Sasha Banks locked up in the figure four leg lock, or the figure eight, because Charlotte adds a little bit of a bridge under her figure four, give it a little bit more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while she's doing the bridge, Rhea runs in, grabs Charlotte, and pins her, and she can't kick out because she's locked up in the figure four.
Figure four. Wow, dude. That's pretty
cool. Kick out, which means Rhea got the win. So basically, Rhea got all the action this weekend.
They've been pushing her, man.
Yeah, she's being pushed to the moon, and it's awesome. So Rhea Ripley gets the win by pinning Shayna Baszler, and all is fantastic in the world of NXT. We'll see where it leads. I haven't watched NXT tonight, but I will probably watch it tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, I'll probably watch it Friday. And then we could talk about it on Sunday. So, yeah, that's great.
So is that something I should go back and watch?
Definitely, man. Like, if you can go and watch this whole pay-per-view, but specifically the War Games matches, make sure to watch those, man.
I mean, those are really interesting to me from the get-go, so I think I'm going to go watch those then.
Yeah, definitely watch those, man. They're really fun.
I got a few days off.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so next up we have a triple threat match to determine the number one contender for the NXT Championship that will be facing Adam Cole at Survivor Series on Sunday. This past Sunday. So it was Pete Dunne taking on Damian Priest, taking on Killian Dane. And the way I thought it was going to go, it went exactly that way. Pete Dunne getting the win by pinning, I believe he pinned Killian Dane. He pinned Damian Priest. So Pete Dunne is a great match. These two are hard hit. I mean, all three of these guys are hard hitting. It's
the bruiserweight.
The bruiserweight versus it's the bruiserweight Pete Dunne taking on the Archer of Infamy Damian Priest, and then Killian Dane. The Beast of Belfast.
and then that guy.
And they call him. Oh no, he's great. They call him. I think they called him the Beast of Belfast, but I'm not sure if he's still going by that name. He has more of a like IRA type like feel, the Irish, because he's Irish, so he has like that IRA feel, like Irish Revolution or something like that.
Army.
Yeah, Resistance Army or something like that. Yeah, he has that kind of
military fatigues or something.
Yeah, it was a great match though. I mean, Pete Dunne gets the win, and meaning that we got Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole for the NXT Championship, because instead of doing the WWE champion taking on the Universal champion taking on the NXT champion, they all three just kind of defended their titles against somebody else. So Brock Lesnar defended his title against Rey Mysterio. The Fiend defended his title against Daniel Bryan. And then we got Adam Cole defending his title against Pete Dunne. So it was pretty good. It was a great match, though.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a good match. One definitely, if you want to, you can look at it. It's not one that if you miss it, like, this isn't a must-see match, but it's a good match. All right, so next up we have Finn Balor taking on Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle was actually supposed to be in the men's War Games match, but because Johnny Gargano was hurt, because Johnny Gargano was supposed to face off against Finn Balor, heel Finn Balor, but because Johnny Gargano got hurt, they replaced him with Matt Riddle. And this is a great match, man. Matt Riddle really kind of ruling the ring, dominating Finn Balor, and then Finn Balor pulling it out at the end with the 1960 DDT at the end.
That's interesting, man, because we're both high on Matt Riddle, man, and I would have thought Matt Riddle would have taken it.
The reason I picked Finn Balor is because they're trying to reinvent Finn Balor as this heel. So I think he's going to be dominant, and I just found out tonight he actually pinned Tommaso Ciampa. Oh,
really?
Yeah, so they're pushing Finn Balor. I don't know to what yet, but they're pushing him pretty good. There are some people that think he's going to be pushing. They're pushing him towards possibly getting his rematch against the Fiend at WrestleMania. But that would mean he would have to leave NXT and go to SmackDown.
I mean, there's still time. I mean, there's 4 months left.
Yeah, we got a lot of time, so there's a lot of story that we told over this.
Yeah, I mean that could happen. I don't know. That's kind of a stretch right there.
Yeah, me too. I would think same. I think they're just trying to reinvent. I think they're just trying to get the trying to get some kind of fire beneath Finn Balor again, because Finn Balor
some momentum.
Yeah, it was kind of go a little stale, man. Like just kind of the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And this heel Finn Balor, it seems so much more natural. Like it seems like because when he was in New Japan and started the Bullet Club, because I don't know if have you ever heard of the Bullet Club?
Mm-mm.
All right, so in New Japan Pro Wrestling, there was this big thing called the Bullet Club. The Young Bucks were in it. Kenny Omega was in it. Cody was in it. The only thing is, it didn't start with him. The Bullet Club started with Finn Balor in New Japan. He created a club with him and a few other people. I know Carl Anderson and some other people, but basically he started this movement, and they just kept adding members, and members left. They would add new members, and eventually he brought in Kenny Omega and the Bucks, and then he left, and Kenny Omega and the Bucks kind of took over, and it continued, and it's still kind of there over there in New Japan.
That's pretty cool, man.
So I think they're trying to bring cool, because back then and in New Japan he was called.
Oh man, you're lagging.
Worked. I think I lagged a little bit, but
yeah, you lagged a little bit right there.
But yeah, anyways, so Finn Balor gets the win. I think it's the right move, honestly. We have yeah. All right, so next up was the main event, which was the men's War Games match. The team of Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and a mystery member because he hadn't found a fourth member yet, taking on the team of Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. And no one. So basically, all members come out into the ring. So I think Roderick Strong starts off the match with Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa walks right to the ring, doesn't even look at anybody. He just says, "You know what? Let's do it. Let's start this match." So he goes and starts in the ring. Roderick Strong goes in the ring, and they start off the match. And right after that, I believe it was Bobby Fish that came out. No, Kyle O'Reilly that came out. Kyle O'Reilly comes out after the first 5 minutes. Then Dominik Dijakovic comes in. Then I believe it's Adam Cole comes out. Instead of waiting like Shayna did, he came out. Hold on, let me make sure that I got that right. Well, they don't tell me. So yeah, I think Adam Cole comes in, and then then Keith Lee comes in. And if you haven't seen Keith Lee, dude, you got to see Keith Lee because this man is gigantic. The things he can do are ridiculous. He also became the star this past weekend.
Oh, really? So it's a coming out kind of deal.
Yeah, the word on the street is that Vince McMahon is very high on Keith Lee.
So is he like what is it called, Kevin Nash type?
Mm-mm. He's much more stockier.
Oh, he's stockier?
He's much stockier and a lot more athletic than Kevin Nash ever was, because no one ever confused Kevin Nash for being athletic. He wasn't. Because he's 7 feet tall.
He was stiff.
Yeah, like it's kind of hard to be agile and be 7 feet tall. Everyone knows that.
That's true. Unless you're a basketball player.
Yeah. So then Keith Lee came out, and then Bobby Fish comes out to end it, and the timer's still going. So the timer's still going for the last 3 minutes, and when it comes down to 0, like the kind of like buzzer goes off, you don't really hear anything, and then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens' music hits.
Oh, nice.
Kevin Owens' music hits, and to a huge reaction from the universe, from the WWE universe. And the reason why Kevin Owens coming out was made sense is because that past Monday night on Raw, Triple H was trying to get him to go back to NXT, and because he didn't, well, not because he didn't, but he was kind of like iffy, and then the Undisputed Era attacked Kevin Owens. And Triple H was furious at Adam Cole for that. Basically because Triple H wanted Kevin Owens back on NXT, and he knew that Adam Cole messed it up. Yeah,
by attacking him, it was going to be – like, people were going to want to see that too, you know?
Yep, so Kevin Owens came out and wrecked shop. And, dude, you need to watch if you don't watch the whole match for this, watch the finish. It's one of the it's one of those holy shit moments, man, where you're just like, how I showed my girl and I was like, what would you do if I did this? Like, what would you like? How would you feel if I did this?
It's like if somebody placed a very strategically and timed upward elbow backwards at the end of a fight to end the fight, something like that.
No, that's called luck. That's called luck. Did he win his last? He won against Jeremy Stevens, right?
Yeah, he freaking dominated him, dude.
Okay, yeah,
Dominated him.
Well, we're still waiting for. Well, I guess because Brian Ortega's fighting Korean Zombie next, right?
Yep.
Hold on, let me log inside. Get inside. So who knows who Yair Rodriguez is fighting? But anyways, so yeah, great match. Tommaso Ciampa ends up pinning Adam Cole to get the win, and it's a great match. Definitely one that you should check out if you ever have the chance.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Survivor Series real quick. I'm just gonna run down real quick. You're not gonna talk too much about it because I haven't even watched the full pay-per-view. I've only watched like certain matches. Like I told you right off the bat, we had the Dolph Ziggler. I mean, we had the tag team battle royal, which Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode win, representing SmackDown. So SmackDown right off the bat has 1 point. 1 point to 0. So the next match we have.
Oh, hold on. Explain that real quick so people know.
Right. Oh, so in Survivor Series, it's Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Basically, battle of the hoots to see who the superior brand is, and you don't really win anything. I believe that if I think what they should try to do next year, and what I believe they should do with the All-Star game and in the NBA and them in the MLB, is give some kind of some award or something, like something to give them to fight for, you know?
I thought you were gonna say like an advantage. What if they get to pick the next one or something, or pick the type of match or something?
No, not an advantage. I think that the winner, like the winning brand, should get something. So, like with the NBA All-Star Game, I believe that whoever wins the All-Star Game should get home court or something like that. Same thing I
advantage.
Thought. Yeah. So yeah, the advantage. And I guess they kind of get an advantage in wrestling too. Is that I think that they should give the winning brand the number 30 pick in the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
wouldn't that be cool? I think that'd be like
that would be pretty cool.
It sends the brand to go back and really give them a few months to think out who do I want in this number 30 spot type thing, you know? And you could build that over a set number of weeks. Really,
dude, that would be so cool, dude. I would think that that's something that, I don't know, if they could play it right, it would make a big difference, and it would push that person who they pick even, higher too,
Yeah,
they to go as a number 30, they have the best chance to win. They're crossing over if you won from the next year, whatever. It's just
And honestly, it's not that big of a consequence because like I see the arguments like when people say like why it doesn't work for NBA and MLB. I get it. It's because it's real. It's not scripted. But with like wrestling, like there's very few winners in the Royal Rumble that actually come from the number 30 spot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
people don't really expect people to win at the number 30, like coming from number 30.
It's rare.
Yeah, like I think there's been more winners coming in from the one spot.
Yeah, from the one, like having to go that gauntlet, and it just makes it for a better what's it called, like a better story, I guess, if they have to go through the whole gauntlet versus the last guy in, he just pins, or just kicks the last guy out or whatever.
Yeah.
It just makes it better.
Fun fact, do you know who has the most allotted time throughout all the Royal Rumbles they've ever been in?
Hold on, I think I could.
Do you think you can pull it? What about you, Jeff? I know you're in the chat.
Hold on. Would it be okay, give me a hint. Would it be someone obvious or someone not obvious?
I think it's kind of obvious. He is seen by some as being the GOAT.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Who are you thinking?
What's his name, man? Hold on. Is he still active on the roster?
Jeff said The Undertaker, and he's wrong. He's not active on the WWE roster. No,
it's Jericho.
Dang, very nice. He has the most a lot of time. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure there's a chance that Rey Mysterio could pass him up this year.
But that's
I
still
think Rey Mysterio has the most time in a single Royal Rumble match, but I think in the entire
if you add them all together,
yeah,
that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty dope. That's like saying who has the most octagon minutes. Coco Beware.
that'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I don't know. I just think it's really cool. Like when you add up all that time in there, like it's just pretty awesome to see. Like if they have, 4 hours in there or something, over their career. I like, man, that's pretty cool. You were 4 hours in a Royal Rumble, man. Like overall, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I think the longest is like over an hour.
At one time.
Yeah, for one, like over one time. I think it's Ray. He has about an hour and some minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Because I think last year he started like number 2 or 3. I don't think he started 1, but I think he's like 2 or 3. All right, so let's go to the next match. So the next match in the Survivor Series match, so it's 1-0-0 SmackDown in SmackDown's favor. Next match is the Cruiserweight Championship match, which is held by Lio Rush, who is in NXT. He's taking on Kalisto, representing SmackDown, and Akira Tozawa, representing Raw. So this is different because this is a championship match. So the champion a lot more to lose.
Yeah.
And
higher stakes.
Yes. Lio Rush, I actually watched this match. And Lio, this is fun because all three of these guys are just super, they're small, so they're fast. And Lio Rush is probably the fastest competitor in WWE. Dude's crazy fast, man, but he pulls off some crazy stuff. Also, little known fact, he's also he's the favorite wrestler of Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Really?
Yeah, like I think she said she saw him at an indie show and fell in love with him, and ever since then, like she's been his biggest fan. She was there when he first debuted on the main roster and all that. Like he invited her like backstage and all that.
So does this guy wear glasses and have a beard and a hat?
No, he's a little tiny. He's a little black dude, man.
Damn, I'm not.
He's
I
cool.
just thought there was gonna be a chance. I was gonna say. So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, he's pretty cool though. So he gets the win with his frog splash. It's called the Final Hour. A nice frog splash. She does a really nice frog splash on Kalisto, which evens it up 1-1. NXT SmackDown. Raw still behind.
Raw, so 1-1-0 basically.
1-1-0.
Hey, yeah. So real quick, you mentioned that frog splash. So who has one of the best frog splashes that you would say? And the reason I bring it up is because we're going to talk about Wilder. And there's this thing on Twitter where everybody's talking about, I don't know, like where he falls in line in the heavyweights of all time, basically.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying that he is by far the hardest hitter. Like not the best technical, striker or puncher or whatever, or the best game plan, but just he hits the hardest, right? We'll talk about that then, but yeah, from wrestling, the frog splash, and that's like an iconic move. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an iconic move. So who has, in your opinion, either the best or like they just got to a new height, like they went higher than everybody else, or they're just real technical with it? Like which one was, in your opinion, so far through now the best?
So of all time?
Yeah, of all time.
The best I'm gonna give to Eddie.
Yeah?
Eddie had the best. I think he had the best frog splash. Close second, RVD, Rob Van Dam.
Oh yeah, he had a pretty good one too.
Yeah, his frog splash was killer.
I was thinking, I don't know if he did a legit frog splash or not, but I remember, what's his name, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He had a pretty.
His was just a body splash.
I know, but I remember seeing him doing a frog splash for some reason.
Yeah, Jeff with the whole effing show. That's right. Rob Van Dam still killing it over there in TNA. Over there in Impact, he's killing.
The newly single.
Yeah, the newly single. He's enjoying his single life too. I don't know if you noticed. Also, surprise top 5 of my favorite frog splashes. Kevin Owens has a fantastic frog.
Really?
For his size, he's a fantastic frog.
I'm going to say the big dude coming through.
Yes, he's a great frog splash. All right, so let's get into this.
See, Jeff knows what's up about Steamboat, man.
Yeah, Steamboat. Hey, dude, Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage, probably the greatest match of all time.
All time. Whoa.
All time.
I love Steamboat, dude. I loved it when he would throw that flame. It was just he was so cool when I was young, growing up.
Yeah.
I would just wait for his entrances, dude. They were so cool.
Jeff, have you seen Steamboat versus Macho Man? Check that. If you haven't seen that match, that's a match that I think if you want to be a wrestling fan, you have to go back and watch that match. That's a clinic of what great wrestling is. That's what most wrestlers, when they say like what got them into wrestling, most wrestlers say it's that
match,
that Savage Steamboat match. Yeah,
that's pretty cool, dude. I'm gonna go watch it now for sure because Steamboat was one of my faves growing up.
And him and Savage had fantastic chemistry together.
Him and Steamboat and Jake the Snake were my favorites, dude. Just because he would come out with that snake, it would just
Jake the Snake top five villains of all time in history.
Dude, he just came out like a badass dude. Like
he never won a title.
Yeah, he never won a title.
He never won a title.
I thought you were gonna say he never warmed up because that's what Stone Cold said on the Hot Ones.
Yeah. Oh no, he was always smoking and drinking.
Yeah, he would be smoking, and this is time to go. He just put it out and he just make the walk. That's hilarious to me, man.
All right, so let's go to the next match. So we have this is the tag team champions match. So the tag team champions from each show took on each other. You have the Viking Raiders representing Raw, taking on the Undisputed Era, which is Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly for NXT, taking on the New Day, which is Kofi Kingston and Big E representing SmackDown.
Former champion Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, man. And Viking Raiders get the win by pinning O'Reilly. And people were upset about this. People were like, why are they pinning the Undisputed Era? Guys, the Undisputed Era went through a War Games match the night before.
I mean, come on.
Like, it makes sense why they lost. Like, they were beat up, dude. Like, crap. Like,
they're only human, man. They're only human. That's like playing a Sunday night game and then playing a Thursday night game.
Yeah, man. It's not fair. So the Viking Raiders get the win, which evens it up all the way across the board, one apiece. So next up, we get to the Women's Survivor Series Elimination Tag Team match, which is Team NXT, which is Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Toni Storm, and Bianca Belair representing NXT, taking on the team of Sasha Banks for SmackDown. Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Carmella, and Nikki Cross, taking on the team of Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Sarah Logan, and Natalya.
Wow.
I don't know how I remember all those off the top of my head, but I did. Yay me.
Hey, real quick, Jeff mentioned that Kofi got robbed to lose to Lesnar that fast. We talked about that in our was it our first stream or was it the podcast?
Probably like the last podcast we did before we started.
Yeah, the last podcast. We talked about it, and don't worry, Jeff. I gave Alec all the business because he was just remember, you were like completely okay. At first you were like, if this happens, I'm gonna be so upset. And then when we talked about it, you're like, I'm upset, but I'm okay with it. I'm happy with it now. I was like, oh,
you know what I was more upset with? I was more upset with the fact that Kane got jobbed out to Brock at than I did with Kofi, because at least I know that Kane can actually fight and actually beat up Brock. I'm not supposed to believe that Kane will be jobbed out to Brock. That's not believable.
I know Kane can knock him
out. Yeah, I know Kane can knock him out. You think I'm surprised that they thought, oh, of course Brock Lesnar could beat up Kofi? Yeah, Kofi's smaller. I get it. It's fine. Whatever. But it is what it is.
Don't get us started, Jeff.
I have my up and down.
Don't get us started, Jeff.
I have my up and down moments.
Brock is now one of Alex's favorite fighters now. Favorite wrestlers.
No, he's not.
You said.
I said he can put on great matches when he wants to.
And you said he's being a great champion. You didn't even say good.
You said great champion.
You said that because he's defending more. You said that.
Rewind the tape. He's being a better champion. Rewind the tape.
Check the tape.
Man, we need someone to go back and check the tape. All right. So I actually have the order of eliminations here. So the first person eliminated was Nikki Cross from Team SmackDown. She was eliminated by Bianca Belair. Then we had Raw Sarah Logan also being eliminated by Bianca Belair.
Wow.
Then we had SmackDown's Carmella being eliminated by Charlotte Flair, followed by Kairi Sane from Raw being eliminated by Sasha Banks. So at the moment, I think at this time, Candice LeRae and Io Shirai actually left because they both got hurt. So they left the match. They weren't announced as leaving the match, but they did have to go to the backstage area. So at the moment, it was Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and Bianca Belair out there. So basically, it kind of got evened up because Team SmackDown right now is at 3. Then Kairi Sane gets eliminated, which brings it down to 3 apiece. Dana Brooke gets eliminated by Asuka. So that brings the SmackDown's team down to 2, which is Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks. And right after Asuka eliminates Dana Brooke, Asuka spits the green mist in Charlotte Flair's face, which is her teammate. Not forgetting the fact that Charlotte is the one that broke Asuka's 3-year undefeated streak. Spit the green mist in her face and abandoned her. So it's down to Charlotte Flair and Natalya on Team Raw, with Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and Bianca on the NXT side, and then Sasha Banks and Lacey Evans on the SmackDown side. So right after that, she gets the green mist spit in her face. Charlotte's eliminated by Lacey Evans, which means there's no more Raw, or there's one more Raw superstar. Sorry, there's one more Raw superstar. So Natalya eliminates Lacey Evans, which leaves it down to then Toni Storm is eliminated by both Sasha Banks and Natalya, which brings it down to the last 3 being which brings it and then Bianca Belair is eliminated by Sasha Banks. So the last 3 being Natalya, Sasha Banks, and
exactly, Jeff.
Rhea Ripley, and it's actually not the great. It might be the Great Kabuki, but I know it as the Great Muta. Who remembers the Great Muta? You don't remember the Great Muta?
Mm-mm.
Oh, WCW, Great Muta.
I don't remember that. I gotta look him up.
Look him up, man. He's awesome. He was teaming up with Vampiro. I don't know if you know who Vampiro is. You know Vampiro?
I think I do. I just don't remember. I'm trying to remember it, but I don't quite remember it.
Jeff remembers Vampiro.
Because that would have been really cool to see Green Mist like that, man. Like
the Green Mist is awesome. Tajiri did it for a while.
Yeah, but it's funny you say that 3 years ago she ended her streak. So this has been brewing. She holds grudges for 3 years. I like it. I like the pettiness. I like the pettiness there.
Yeah. So the final 3 is Natalya, Sasha Banks, and Rhea Ripley. Sasha Banks and Natalya look like they're about to team up on Rhea, and of course, as everyone expects, Sasha Banks turns on Natalya, hits a statement, and eliminates Natalya. So the final 2 are Rhea Ripley and Sasha Banks. However, Candice LeRae comes back out, distracts the referee, and out comes Io Shirai with the springboard drop kick to Sasha Banks, letting Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide on Sasha Banks, giving NXT the win. So Rhea Ripley, in a matter of 3 nights, has pinned Charlotte Flair, Shayna Baszler, and Sasha Banks, all in a matter of 3 nights in a row.
Man, that's I don't know. That's a pretty impressive streak right there, man. For anybody, you know.
It's a resume. What do they always tell you in sports? Update your resume.
She just did in 3 days.
Yeah. So Rhea Ripley is being seen. Rhea Ripley's going to be headlining WrestleMania one day.
Yeah, I was going to tell you. I mean, they obviously are pushing her, like you said, to the moon, dude. So
yeah, you want to hear how old she is?
How old is she?
She's 23 years old.
I was going to say 23 because what's her name? The one that they made that movie after?
Paige.
She was around that age when they started pushing her and giving her big matches, dude. So they obviously see something in her, man. And I mean, she's delivering, dude. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It's pretty good, man. And so NXT takes the lead, 2-1 to 1.
2-1, yeah, dude.
All right. So next up, we have the mid-card champions match, which is the United States champion Shinsuke Nakamura representing SmackDown, taking on AJ Styles. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Shinsuke is the Intercontinental Champion representing SmackDown. AJ Styles is the United States Champion representing Raw, taking on Roderick Strong with the representing NXT with the North American Championship. And surprisingly, AJ Styles hits the phenomenal forearm on Shinsuke Nakamura. He's about to pin Nakamura. Roderick Strong runs in, throws AJ Styles out of the ring, and pins Nakamura for the 1-2-3, giving NXT the advantage by 2 points. So Roderick Strong gets for NXT. NXT is up 3-1-1.
Hey, so how many total matches are there?
There's a lot of matches. I mean, there's a few more. So I think we have like 5 more matches. But the other 3, like the championship matches, I'm not going to go over very much.
I just think it's pretty cool that they do that, man. I'm telling you, like to me, that's something that they should expound upon with the 2-1-1 or whatever. And obviously they don't do this a lot, but I just think it's like you could throw strategy in there, maybe like have it a 2 or 3 day thing where okay, they come into today down 4 matches, so they absolutely can't lose. So they gotta throw their best out there or something, or maybe they start, distracting refs more or causing more chaos to try to get an advantage to get more wins, But that also goes to what you said, that they have to give them something for whoever wins to make it like bigger or worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So after Roderick Strong gets the win, this basically means that both Raw and SmackDown are fighting for a tie.
Basically,
that's the only thing they can do now, because all they have left to compete is the men's Survivor Series elimination match and the women's match, which is Shayna Baszler taking on Bayley, taking on Becky Lynch. So,
well, if one of them wins both of them, they win, though, right?
No, they would tie because NXT is up.
Oh, is that 3? Yeah.
Like 2. So all they're trying to do is compete for a tie now. Whereas NXT is looking for the win. All right, so let's go to the next up. We had the NXT Championship match. Adam Cole taking on Pete Dunne. I haven't seen this match yet, so I can't really talk on it. But Adam Cole did defend. I'm not really surprised, but from what I heard, this is a great. Unfortunately, they didn't get the love from the audience as most would expect, but I think this should have been a match that wasn't right after the mid card championship match. This should have been either opening the card or right before one of the elimination tag team matches. Personally, I think with its placement, it didn't get the love that it probably should have gotten.
Yeah, but so where would you move it at? Like in this card, like in this specific card,
I probably would have had it open.
Open before who was opening right now?
So the opening match was the tag team one. So it was Viking Raiders, New Day, and Undisputed Era. I would have had this actually open up with Adam Cole, but with him walking out with both Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. So that way they can all come out, and then right after his match, after he gets the win, he can hang out ringside while they do the triple threat tag team match. But it is what it is, and I believe what I heard was by the end of the match, people were into it.
So it just took them a while to get into it, basically.
Yeah, it's just because they didn't know Adam Cole or Pete Dunne. So I get it, and I was kind of bummed when I heard they weren't going to do the all 3 world champions going up against each other. But when I think about it, like Adam Cole would have looked weird compared to Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar because he's so much smaller. And even then, like Bray Wyatt as the Fiend would have looked weird going up against Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar is so straight faced and all that stuff. Whereas the Fiend is literally a character where he is a monster basically. Like he's total kayfabe, whereas Brock Lesnar is more realistic. You understand? Yeah. So I get why they split him up, but I know Adam Cole's still pushing for that match against all 3 of them. I mean, the other 2. He said on WWE Backstage that he wants Brock and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania.
That'd be interesting.
So that'd be cool. So next up, we had the Universal Championship match: The Fiend, Bray Wyatt taking on Daniel Bryan. No surprise here. Bray Wyatt gets the win. I don't know how they're gonna find a challenger that's able to defeat Bray Wyatt because they built him up as such a powerful force that no one can beat him. He's able to take everyone's finisher like 10,000 times and not lose.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is one of those things where like it's really innovative and cool.
But they back themselves into a corner, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They kind of wrote themselves into a corner with how they're gonna bring this they created a monster, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you bring that down? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, but it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna be watching to find out how, because we've been following it since the beginning with those
vignettes.
yeah, those vignettes. So I'm really interested in how it works out, man. And hey, I'm not gonna hate on them, man. They tried something different, and for me, it's been working. So
Yeah, and personally, I think anyone deserves it. It's Bray Wyatt.
hmm
So, all right, let's jump into the men's elimination tag team match. So, this is the team of representing NXT. We had Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa, Dominik Dijakovic, if I'm not mistaken. Dominik Dijakovic. Oh, no, sorry, not Dominik. Damian Priest, Matt Riddle, and Walter, which is the NXT UK champion, taking on the team of SmackDown, which is Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin, Shorty G, Mustafa Ali, and who was the last person? Why am I forgetting? Why am I forgetting? Damn. Corbin. Did I just say everybody? Oh, no, not Randy. What the hell? Shorty G, Mustafa Ali, Baron Corbin.
You didn't say Randy Orton.
Roman Reigns. Well, Randy Orton's on Raw.
Oh.
What the hell was the other SmackDown guy? Oh, Braun Strowman. Sorry. Braun Strowman. Taking on the team of Raw, which is Seth Rollins, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. So, order elimination. Walter is pinned by Drew McIntyre. Shorty G is pinned by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is pinned by Tommaso Ciampa. Damian Priest is pinned by Randy Orton. Randy Orton is pinned by Matt Riddle. Interesting. This is actually kind of I heard people were saying that they could see this being a program in the future, Matt Riddle versus Randy Orton, which would be kind of cool.
That'd be really interesting.
Riddle being eliminated by Baron Corbin. Braun being counted out because everybody went after Braun Strowman and destroyed him on the outside and left him out there to get counted out. Ricochet pinned by Corbin. Mustafa Ali pinned by Seth Rollins. McIntyre pinned by Roman Reigns. Corbin pinned by Ciampa. Ciampa pinned by Rollins. Rollins pinned by Keith Lee, leaving the two sole survivors being Keith Lee, Roman Reigns, and this is where Keith Lee got to shine, going up against WWE boy Roman Reigns, and proving that he belongs in that ring with him. Even though Roman Reigns gets the win, Keith Lee doesn't leave looking bad. Keith Lee leaves looking better than ever.
So a win and a loss, basically.
Yeah, really. Basically, Keith Lee. I think I sent you that GIF of Keith Lee. That's the dude. That was Keith Lee.
Oh, that was him?
Keith Lee, the one that tackled Adam Cole in the crowd. That's
he just threw him like 5 rows into the stands right there, dude. That was
hilarious. I love those tweeting out. If you're in the front row, you should be prepared to be shocked.
Yeah.
You might get someone thrown on you.
Yeah, that looked crazy, dude. He looked like a rag doll, man.
So that means SmackDown pulls within 1 point. So it's 3-2-1. Raw has no way to catch up to NXT. Raw's basically taken out of contention. So we go into the WWE Championship match, which is Brock Lesnar taking on Rey Mysterio in a no-holds-barred match. And this is close, man, but Brock Lesnar actually wins.
Your boy Brock.
But Rey Mysterio came in and put on a great. Rey Mysterio came in and put on a good fight. His son Dominic comes in and does They did a double 619 to Brock Lesnar.
Nice.
Which, if you were as a kid, one of my first memories of watching wrestling is the Eddie Guerrero Rey Mysterio feud. Eddie Guerrero telling Rey Mysterio that his son is actually Eddie Guerrero's son.
Yeah, that was hilarious, dude.
I'm your poppy. Yeah. So seeing how big this kid is, man, I think he might be my age or a little younger than me, actually.
So what are you trying to say here, Alec?
He's more successful than I am, and it upsets me.
No, that it actually might be Eddie's.
It might be Eddie's son. I'm not gonna lie. It might be Eddie's son. He should have came out with an "I'm Your Poppy" shirt. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
All right, so
that could also be written into later, where he says that he took a DNA test and he's actually.
It's true. All right, so you want to hear what the main event is?
What's the main event, man?
The main event is the women's champions match. So we have the NXT women's champion Shayna Baszler taking on the Raw women's champion Becky Lynch, taking on the SmackDown women's champion Bayley.
Ooh.
For all the marble, if Shayna Baszler wins this match, she wins the night for NXT. If Bayley wins the match, it ties it up, SmackDown and NXT. If Becky wins, they tie for second place, I guess, but NXT would still win. So I still haven't got to go back and check out this match, but with the surprise, Shayna Baszler gets the win to catapult NXT to the big Survivor Series win, surprising everybody, surprising me. I had Bayley winning this match. I had SmackDown winning the entire night. This was honestly, this was fun back and forth, like between all three brands.
So what Jeff said, it seems like Raw and SmackDown should have won, but it seems like a good push for NXT. So earlier we talked about it, Jeff, where NXT has kind of become the student has become the master in NXT, and they're a lot of which is kind of interesting. We had compared it to what other minor league can you say that for, which you can't say the G League can shine as much as the NBA or even close to it, or get as much popularity or push or momentum or buzz. The one that we did kind of compare it to was maybe college football. I think we both said that it's there to counter AEW for sure, but it's really doing a lot better than WWE as far as storytelling and what fans want to see. I mean, all I hear about, all I see on Twitter is how WWE needs to take notes or take best practices from NXT and use them on WWE, which is it's just crazy to me. It's NXT was supposed to be this feeder system to the WWE, and they've actually become more of a standalone where people want to see that product more than they want to see, not more than they want to see WWE, but they just have their own lane now, and they have a lot of fans and they have a lot of people rooting for them, and they like it. I feel like NXT is pretty cool myself. So I don't know, man. I don't know where we're gonna go from here. It was a big push for them. It's just really interesting, man. It's seeing how WWE and Raw responds to this big push for the NXT, and we'll see kind of where it goes from there. We're just talking about how NXT has its own lane, its own fan base now, and how a lot of WWE fans want them to take some notes or some best practices from NXT. And also Jeff was saying if it was done to counter AEW, and that we've talked about that in the past too, that's a big possibility of what they're doing. Yeah. But NXT has its own thing. They have their own lane, and they're getting pushed themselves also because they're putting out a great product, man. People want to see them. They have their own fans, and it's just overall a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I actually have personally, NXT has been better than AEW for me. As y'all know, I have my problems with AEW. AEW is still good, but there are their problems that they need to work on a little more. Whereas NXT has had more time to fix the little problems. So once they got to national television, because before they were just streaming on the WWE network, they were able to iron out their little kinks and get to where they are now. Whereas I think they have a more finished product when it comes to the national television on USA. But AEW is still trying to figure out that, and I think they will. There's no I don't think there's any doubt that they'll figure it out.
It's also that the NXT has all the resources of WWE. They've had all those mistakes that WWE made. NXT is not going to make them, obviously, because it's their parent company or it's their sister company, however you want to call it, whatever. But like you said, they had the time to iron it out. So AEW is still growing. They still have a lot of resources and the con money. And they're going to continue to get better. But right now, NXT is just, I don't know, man. I feel like NXT is kind of the cream of the crop right now. as far as buzz and momentum go.
Yeah, and I think that WWE showed their faith in the NXT superstars with this big win. Like, I always kind of did believe that Vince didn't care about NXT until this past weekend. Like, there's no one that can tell me that Vince doesn't care about NXT, because there's no way you can't tell me that Vince had nothing to do with what happened on Sunday.
He has to give the go ahead, right?
Yeah, it stops at Vince. Like, everything stops at Vince. Like, if Vince doesn't like it, it doesn't go through. It doesn't happen. Maybe on the weekly shows, they can get away with certain things. But when it comes to the pay-per-views, especially the big four, because don't forget, the big four are Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Those are the big four. So you don't think Vince McMahon is sitting gorilla, which is right there at the screen at the entrance, talking to the refs, talking to the superstars? Like, Vince is the last person they see going out to the ring, and he's the first person they see when they come back.
Yeah, I mean, he has to have seen also, I mean, how this is going to play out going forward, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he's not making short-term plays either, so he understands and he knows the value of NXT and what it is to put him over like that too. So he had to sign off on it. He had to say, you know what, this is the right thing to do at this point in time, mm-hmm. And I agree, man. I mean, he did that for a reason, and I don't know, man. I just like it. I like it overall. I feel like in this instance, it's not you're the minor league, so you're gonna take a backseat to the big boys. It's these guys are here. They can put on great shows, great matches. Let's show people how great they are,
And that was my fear going into Survivor Series, honestly. Because we're about to jump off of Survivor Series, we can stop talking about it, but that was my fear going into this, is because last year at Survivor Series, Raw literally swept all the matches against SmackDown because Raw was the A show. So I was really surprised when not only did they get – I understand the Cruiserweight Championship match, because that plays into NXT's storytelling going forward. But the other matches, I was completely shocked in the way they pushed people like Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Matt Riddle, like Keith Lee. Keith Lee going one-on-one with Roman Reigns at the very end of that match.
That had to be pretty cool for him too.
That's got to give him the biggest confidence boost, because now you have the big man behind you. Like, before you had Triple H, you had little Vince McMahon with Triple H behind you.
Mini,
because they all have Triple H behind them. Now he's got Vince on it, behind him.
Yeah,
and honestly, Roman Reigns, the best thing Roman Reigns did was, once he came back, I believe what I heard is that he told Vince he didn't want to be in the spotlight anymore. He wanted to put all his efforts into pushing more awareness and for cancer, especially for children. So all his efforts go to that. So he's not wrestling as much, which means that people aren't hating Roman Reigns as much as they were before.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're pulling all their hate on Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins just went heel on Monday, which now people are going to have to find something to complain about now. We'll find out what. But Rollins, everyone loved Rollins as a heel, so they're doing that. I think they're really starting to listen to the fans more. And it's really cool to see, honestly, from someone who's been watching wrestling for multiple years and has been kind of there are times where watching Raw and watching SmackDown felt like chores.
Mm-hmm. You did tell me that before.
Yeah, where I just I don't even want to do this. I don't want to watch this.
The slog.
Now, I'll dip in Raw and SmackDown here and there, but now I can watch NXT for 2 hours on Wednesday, and then on Thursday watch AEW, or I'll switch it up. So some days I'll watch AEW live, but then watch NXT the next day and things like that. NXT UK is something I need to get back into. I actually jumped off of it, but I need to get back into it. But I mean, there's so much wrestling out there that's really encouraging for wrestling fans, and that if you can't, the reason why I got so upset with the wrestling. All right, so I got upset with the wrestling community on Sunday because people were afraid that NXT was going to get blown out. So when NXT started winning matches, people were like, "Why is NXT winning matches?" Oh my god!
They're supposed to be getting blown out.
Jesus Christ, guys! We can't. This is why we don't get it. This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why I don't take you out anymore.
Yeah, because we get the thing where we're NXT is being shown like crazy. They're getting huge pops. Rhea Ripley looks like a star. Keith Lee, Tommaso. I would even say Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, and Bianca Belair.
Yeah, you did say she pinned a couple.
She's a star. So I'm like, this is what we wanted, and yet we've like the internet finds some way to complain, and I'm just like, it's upsetting, and it sucks because this is the internet and we have to deal with it. But like, God, this is why we can't have nice things, guys. Like, enjoy this while we have it, because you never know. Next year, it might be different. But the way I see it is that they opened up Survivor Series. WWE did a smart thing also because now they made Survivor Series for next year must-see TV.
Yeah.
I'm already excited to see a Survivor Series for next year because who knows what superstars are going to be where. Because there's going to be a draft at some point where they're going to mix and match. They're going to mix around the superstars and everyone's going to move around. I think the smart thing to do would be when they have that draft, include NXT.
I feel like they have to at this point. Like I feel like they've graduated NXT from a minor league to an equal or almost getting there. Definitely. So I think you have to do that. You can't leave them out, dude.
Definitely. So all right, guys, we're gonna stop talking about NXT and Survivor Series. I think we talked about it enough. Jeff knows how much we love NXT. Now he knows how much I love NXT, and now I know how much Jeff hates Rollins because of what I see on my
and thinks Riddle is that's hilarious.
Right. At the same time,
he thinks Riddle's cool.
Yeah,
so
from MMA. Cool. So he hasn't seen his NXT stuff, but he does know his MMA stuff, which is the opposite of me because I only know his wrestling stuff.
Yeah, and his MMA stuff's pretty cool too, man. He's pretty legit.
All right, so let's jump into. I want to jump into some of the because we can jump into it pretty quickly. The only fight I watched this past weekend was the Ruiz and Wilder fight. But this was something I sat down, like my girlfriend was watching TV in the room, and I was like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna open up my laptop, and I'm gonna put this fight on. I haven't watched boxing in a long. I think the last fight I watched boxing was I watched like 3 or 4 rounds of the Errol Spence Jr. last fight. I was in a bar and it was there, and I was trying to stay, but the people I was with were like, no. I want to leave. They're not playing music.
Man,
this is a decent fight though. Like, because I think Errol Spence lost at least 1 round in those 4 rounds that I watched.
Who did he fight? I forgot who he fought, but I remember I watched that whole fight too.
It was a decent fight.
Oh, he fought. I remember he fought Sean Porter.
There you go, Sean Porter. And Sean Porter at least won one of those rounds that I watched.
No, he won a little bit more than 1 round, dude. That was.
I'm saying I think I watched 4 rounds.
Oh, okay.
4 rounds I watched. He won one of them.
Yeah, no, dude, that was by far the hardest fight Errol Spence has had. I don't know, man. If we're talking about boxing, man, like I mentioned before on our pre-show, is my first love. My first love of combat sports. I grew up on Julio Cesar Chavez. I grew up on Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., James Toney, Winky Wright, and then right after that, a little bit after that, was like the Diego Corrales. What's his name? Paul. I forgot his name. Paul, the guy that ended up in a motorcycle accident, and ended up being he can't move his legs. But all right, Jeff, we see you, man. We appreciate you coming in every time, man.
I'll be watching on Sunday. I'll probably be watching Sunday morning.
I'm gonna be watching you for sure, man. I appreciate you, Jeff.
Sunday mornings. Find the Dynasty White Sports page on Facebook, and they broadcast every Sunday morning, and I believe Wednesday night. They do Wednesday night right before the Thursday night football game, so you can get all your fantasy football advice. It's Jeff, Clay, and Chris Kennedy. Genius when it comes to fantasy. So make sure.
Yeah, man, I've been following up on his stuff.
Even though I did beat him in our Dynasty League. I think Zeke had a bad game that day, so
you got lucky.
DJ Moore had a fantastic game, so it was awesome. But yeah, go check out that, man. They answer your live questions. So if you have some questions before, it's literally right before the 12 o'clock games. So if you have any questions beforehand, if you don't know who to start, they will answer your questions.
Yep.
And they'll shout you out. And if you're someone that keeps going. It creates a relationship with them, and you become part of that community, and that's a really fun community to be a part of.
They'll tell you if Antonio Brown is a good pickup for a dynasty league
next year.
Yeah,
if you have a dynasty, pick him up now.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Because maybe who knows where he'll be? Maybe he'll be I don't know where he'll be actually. Probably Philly.
Maybe he'll be in arena football. I don't know if you heard about that.
Arena in XFL.
Well, arena football just went bankrupt, dude. They just ceased operations.
Oh, they need Antonio Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could use him too, though. So yeah, go ahead. What you're saying?
So getting back to what we're talking about boxing, man. Like, I don't understand. There's two narratives going on, right? They're saying people say that boxing is dying or boxing is dead, but almost every big pay-per-view boxing match sells close to 1 million, if not more than a million pay-per-view buys, which is a big deal. I don't think UFC sold 1 million pay-per-view buys since McGregor and Rousey were on there. I don't even think the Khabib fight did 1 million.
Yeah.
So boxing is not dying. Oh, damn it.
No, it's not. I thought it was at one point, but I didn't realize how much like boxing still makes.
They make a crap ton of money, man, and there's some big names out there, man. So like in the heavyweight division right now, you have like these 4 guys. So you have Wilder, Ruiz, Joshua, and Tyson Fury who came back. And Tyson Fury, in my mind, is still the lineal champ because nobody's beat him in the ring. He just retired because of his I want to say his mental issues or things of that nature that he had to get over and get past, which he did.
What did you just say?
His mental issues, is that the right way to say?
Did you just say he retired in the ring?
Huh? No, I said he's never been beaten in the ring, but he left by himself to deal with his mental issues, and then he came back
against Ruiz.
No, I'm talking about Tyson Fury.
Oh, Tyson Fury. I don't know. I thought you said Joshua. I was like, wait, what?
No. Joshua, man, I don't know if you've seen this interview between Joshua and Ruiz where they're face to face. You know that face to face off where they're sitting in the
where they're sitting in the chairs.
And Ruiz,
I haven't seen the interview though.
Ruiz just tells them like the guy says that, hey, you've hinted at saying that Joshua quit. Do you believe that? And he goes, yeah, Joshua basically quit in the ring. to his face, dude, and Joshua didn't say a word. Like, I don't know, man.
He knows he did.
Yeah, Joshua's in trouble, dude. I just don't see
him. Ruiz is winning, man. Like, I honestly do.
Man, Ruiz ain't no joke, man. Ruiz has a lot of athleticism hidden inside of that body, dude. Which people,
for a big dude,
people don't understand.
Fast, man. Like when I was watching him like punch Joshua, I was like, dude, he's fast, man. Like he's not playing. Like,
I feel like every time he got hit hard, he woke him up, and he wanted to give two back for everyone that he got hit.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where they sometimes they got to get hit a little bit to wake up a little bit.
Yeah. So what I was getting back to was that there's that's in the heavyweight division. Below that, you have obviously Canelo. Canelo's a huge draw.
Yeah.
Below that, you have the 147, 154 pounders, which is Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, the guy you mentioned that fought Sean Porter, was his name? Errol Spence Jr. And then below that, you have Bud Crawford, who's probably the pound for pound best fighter in the world right now. Him and Vasily Lomachenko are probably 1A and 1B.
Yeah. I know Lomachenko. I know that name.
Yeah, so Lomachenko's a beast too, man. I've been following him for a while too. So there's these great fighters up there. There's a couple, I want to say between 3 and 5 maybe up and comers in different weight divisions that are coming up too. And one of them actually fought in the Wilder undercard. I think I forgot his name. Was Ryan Garcia? I think he fought. I think it was him. I'm not sure. But there's these guys that are coming up, man, and there's just a lot of good fights out there now. I've always said this. I feel boxing is broken. It's been broken. There's just too many champions, dude. You know?
Yeah.
There's just too many champions, and it makes sometimes for good. Like Wilder says, he wants to be the lineal champ, and he wants to get all the championships together. The one that I follow, the champion, is the Ring Magazine champion. So if you're Ring Magazine champion, that means that they don't care about belts or whatever. They just say this is the best guy in the division. And right now, the Ring champion for heavyweight is Tyson Fury because he's never been beaten.
Yeah,
he left as a champion. So you have Deontay Wilder who's going to fight him. So you want to talk about the fight real quick, the Deontay Wilder-Luis Ortiz fight?
Yeah, so this is one I actually sat down and watched. Sorry about that. My dog's going insane. And he's a big old German Shepherd. You've seen him.
Yeah, I've seen him.
He's an ass sometimes. But yeah, the fight was good. First of all, great showmanship from Deontay Wilder. He's trying to step up his game because he saw Tyson Fury probably at WWE.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's like, I gotta step my game up, man. So he comes out with the cool gear on,
the whole suit and the shoulder pads and the mask.
Yeah, Ruiz, man. Why? Tell me why Ruiz looks like he was fighting back in the 70s.
No, you talking about Luis Ortiz?
Ortiz, sorry. Tell me why Ortiz sounds like it looks like he was fighting back in like the 70s. Like he looked like if you put his picture up next to like Ali's and everybody else's picture, it looks like it fits.
A little fight like this where they're like that, you know?
It fits, right? But
because he's older too, he's like 30, 38 or something 40. Like that. Huh? Like 40?
If I'm not mistaken, he's in his 40s. I think it was 41.
Yeah, he's 40. Yeah, he's up there in age, man. But in fairness, up to this point, the first fight with Ortiz, he gave Wilder his probably biggest test next to Tyson Fury. And by test I mean because I don't think Tyson Fury ever really hurt Wilder, but Ortiz hurt Wilder in the first match.
Oh wow!
And yeah, he did, dude. And he had him against the ropes. And honestly, Wilder kind of got saved by the bell in that fight.
Yeah,
before he came back and knocked him out with the nasty uppercut. So I was expecting a lot of the same. And I mean, I don't know, man. What do you think about the fight? Would you see?
Well, I think then this kind of makes sense then because like what I thought was Ortiz is being the aggressor the entire time, pushing Wilder to the ropes and really hitting him with I think he caught him a couple times in the face, in the head, a couple body shots. But I don't know. I had Wilder winning. I think because he got knocked out in the 7th round. Yeah, he did. So up until then, I think I had 2 rounds for Ortiz and 4 for Wilder. But it wasn't like it wasn't. They were pretty close. Like you could have went either way with them. Yeah,
they were pretty close, and you can tell right off the bat what Ortiz's game plan was, which was to be aggressive, come forward, don't let Wilder set his feet, and don't let him be at a distance because he has those long arms. But man, I don't know. Like we talked about it too. People knock Wilder for his lack of acumen as far as his technique goes. But he does have some techniques that work for him, and he knows how to use them. Mm-hmm. And those jabs that were just setting up that big right, and that's the thing. Everyone knows a big right is coming, you know, and you still can't get away from it. He just has a lot of power, man. He has a lot of power, and the quote that came out from that fight from Wilder is basically his whole career in a nutshell. Is his opponent has to be perfect for 12 rounds. And he just has to be perfect for 1 second. And that's the second that he punches you with that big right hand and knocks you out, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense, man.
And that's exactly what it is. So you could be beating this guy for 11 rounds, 12 rounds, but if he catches you, look at Tyson Fury, man. Tyson Fury is a freak of nature, and that's why he was able to get up off the ground like The Undertaker and finish the fight and earn a draw, you know, which he was winning the whole fight from my perspective for the most part. Mm-hmm. But he earned a draw by not getting knocked out cold because any other heavyweight gets knocked out with that punch.
That's crazy, man. So the thing about that punch was, I think that was right before the bell that knocked out Ortiz.
Yeah, it was. I think it was
right before the bell, and the ref called it right away because he saw Ortiz had no clue where he was.
Oh, dude, there's this replay. There's this replay on it where you can see his eyes roll to the back of his head and him looking off into the distance like, where am I? Yeah, that fight was done. That was a good stoppage from the ref to not give up more damage to Ortiz, who's older and also has been in a lot of battles as well. But yeah, man, it was over, dude. That was one of the easier and the thing is Wilder could tell he connected flush and he was already celebrating like it was a done deal. He knew it was over. He knew he wasn't getting up after that.
Yeah, it was impressive. So now I'm just waiting for that Tyson Fury fight, man. I want to see him and Tyson go one more time. I didn't watch that fight live. I just saw the memes where you heard the dong and or Tyson Fury was down, you heard the dong, and then all of a sudden he sits up where you're like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm excited for that fight, man. I think that's the only fight I'm really looking forward to in terms of boxing. Oh, and Joshua and Ruiz.
So Joshua Ruiz is next week, next Saturday, December 7th. I'm excited about that fight.
Let's go, Ruiz. Let's highlight that fight real quick, even though we'll probably talk about it next week too.
Yeah, so that fight, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm concerned a little bit because Joshua is a beast. He did get beat up nasty by Ruiz last time, and the big factor last time was Ruiz's speed.
Yeah.
Ruiz is a lot faster than Joshua, you could tell. And Joshua hits hard, but Ruiz can take a punch. Ruiz has always had a durable chin, a granite chin. So if Joshua comes in here with the same game plan, the same thing's gonna happen. Ruiz is not taking him lightly by any stretch, but Ruiz does have a big mental edge over Joshua because of how it looked that Joshua quit in the last fight.
Yeah.
Joshua just, I mean, dude, he was not into it, man. Like in the last fight, once he started getting punched, and that's a big deal too. Like I don't think Joshua's ever been punched this way. He's been down before, but not like this, and not beat up this way. So the other thing that I have to say, because it is boxing, and like I told you with USADA, this fight is in Saudi Arabia, I think it is. So there's not, huh?
You think someone's juicing?
Well, the fight against Ruiz was Joshua's first fight in the U.S., dude, and they're saying, or there's rumors that he wasn't able to juice, so he wasn't able to be himself. So I don't know, man. Maybe we see
pretty harsh accusations there, sir.
Hey, I'm just a messenger. A lot of people are saying, I don't know. It does look suspect, the first fight in the U.S., and you get dominated by a guy that you should have knocked out, potentially. Not knocked out, but you should have beat if you're the guy that people think you are, which is the next guy, you know, the guy who took the championship from Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah.
You know, and for you to react that way to punches. And I'm telling you, that's also a mental thing, man. Those guys that are on the juice and beating people up, they get off the juice and they feel like they're not Superman anymore. And now they're vulnerable, you know? So I don't know. It just looks bad. That's all I'm saying is it looks bad. I don't have any definitive proof. I'm not accusing him. You know, he did get beat. He did quit for the most part. And this upcoming fight is going to go a long way to proving one way or the other. If Ruiz beats him again, then you know what? Ruiz is the better fighter overall, and Joshua has a lot of work to do to even be considered at the top again. You know, he has to beat some of these top guys again. If Ruiz wins, it sets him up with big fights with the winner of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Also, too, this Ruiz fight with Joshua is a big thing in boxing that continues to happen, where they try to season the fights too long. Joshua should have been fighting Tyson Fury a long time ago. He should have been fighting Deontay Wilder a long time ago when he was undefeated. And now he has pesky Ruiz in front of him for a second time, who's a bad matchup because he's so much faster than him. And he's not getting paid as much as he would have gotten paid if he would have fought Tyson Fury or if he would have fought Deontay Wilder. But he was being too stubborn and he was the A side instead of trying to come up with a split that was good for both of them. Now, no matter what happens, he's not going to be the A side. He's not going to be the A side. So it's a big deal, man. It's a big fight. Joshua has a lot to lose. Ruiz is on borrowed time and house money right now. You know, if he loses to Joshua, I guarantee you now he has potential rematch clause in it. So I don't know, man. It's a big fight. I'm obviously going for Ruiz. He's a countryman. He's a Mexican American. He reps well. He reps well. So I'm excited about it, man. How about you?
I'm excited. I really want Ruiz to win to get some respect, man. Because I think one of the things that really made me upset was instead of talking about this man that knocked out Anthony Joshua, one of the biggest upsets of in a long time in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of revering this man, everyone on ESPN and stuff, especially, I listen to the show all the time, and I don't know why I do, but I do because I think I like the debates. I like hearing people debate, even though when the takes are fucking outlandish, it's crazy. But Stephen A. Smith.
God, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that to yourself?
To have the balls to say that, basically to take away everything you can from Ruiz Like everything that Ruiz did, take it all away just to say that he shouldn't have been he should have been fighting Tyson Fury. Well, if this Joshua would have went up against Tyson Fury, we all would have been upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, like thank you Ruiz for showing us that this Anthony Joshua wasn't ready for Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder.
Yeah,
like, because maybe if Ruiz gets this win, maybe we'll be talking about, man, maybe we should see Ruiz taking on Deontay Wilder or
yeah. If he wins, we should be seeing that. But I agree with you, man. I mean,
it's upsetting when you have things like that where the narrative overtakes the potential narrative overtakes what actually happened and the greatness of things. Like the reason why we'll go back to we're all Astros fans. We're both Astros fans here.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I can't appreciate what the Nationals did is because I'm too closely attached. But I can't take away the fact that what the Nationals did is all-time great. But the fact that they are a wild card team that shouldn't have done what they did, and they did it based on their on how great of a team, on how good of a team they are, how well coached they are, and all this stuff. What they accomplished, it's fantastic. However, I can appreciate it because I am a Astros fan, so I didn't do that. But that was similar to a number 16 seed taking out a 1 seed.
Yeah.
And Ruiz taking out Joshua was similar to a 16 seed taking out a 1 seed, and we should all talk about that. That should have been the story, not the fact that they waited too long to do Joshua versus Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the way he did it, on top of how he wasn't like a super last minute replacement, but he was a last minute replacement because the original opponent, I think, was having trouble popping hot for steroids.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's not a joke, man. I mean, if you look at his record, he has like 1 loss, and that loss was a controversial loss too earlier in his career.
Yeah.
Against a dude with the granite chin as well.
Yeah.
So he's a good boxer, man. He's very good. He has a great amateur career.
Yeah, he should talk about, honestly.
So he has experience. He's fast. He's very technical. He knows what he's doing in there. He can take a punch, and he was hungry, man. He was hungry. Like he was hungry to show his worth and what he brought to the table, and he got a chance to prove it and show that warrior spirit of his, and he did, man. Like I don't know, man. It's just he had like. It kind of brings me to the point of like the Astros where if a pitcher's tipping pitches, they still got to hit the ball, right? Yeah. Well, Ruiz had to go in there last minute notice and still beat up this dude that's supposed to be a Goliath, and he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like he still did it. So I get what you're saying, man. A lot of the times the narrative, the story's better the other way or the guy, wasn't on his game. He should have fought the other guy. He's not even supposed to be in there. He overlooked them, and you overlooked the guy who actually accomplished a big thing, But I think that's why it's also really cool to see this next fight that we're getting to see, where we get to show that, where we get to see him sitting in front of Joshua saying, "You quit," and Joshua just not saying anything back or whatever because he knows he quit, So it just, I feel like it that narrative, the way they played it back then and kind of going into this next fight, it benefits Ruiz even more because if Ruiz, or once Ruiz overcomes this guy again and gets the W, there's nothing anybody can say anymore about Joshua. There's nothing you can say. Ruiz beat him up twice. He beat him up in the U.S. He beat him up in Saudi Arabia. He'll beat him anywhere you want to beat him. Ruiz is a better boxer than Joshua. Let's move on. Let's make those fights for Ruiz against Tyson Fury, against Deontay Wilder, and let's see who the best heavyweight is in this point in time.
That's where I'm at, man. All right, so let's jump into some of this stuff. So, upcoming fights in the UFC. I think we've gotten a lot of fight announcements lately, if I'm not mistaken.
We've gotten a ton, man. They're trying to pack the schedule for January and February, man. It's getting crazy.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to look for some of. So I don't have the current schedule at the moment, except that I know that in February we are getting UFC. What is it again? Damn it! Hold on.
Is it 248 or 247? Somewhere on there.
247 and 248, because 246 is
January.
If I'm not. No, oh yeah. No, wait. Hold on. What? Are you sure 246 is I thought 246 is December. Hold on. So 245. Oh, sorry, 245 is December. So that's Usman Covington. All right. So yeah, 240. And at the moment it's 246 being February because they haven't scheduled one for January. But the only fight scheduled for January right now is Blaze versus Dos Santos, according to UFC's main website, which is where I'm at.
Well, let's talk about that because your boy Conor McGregor said he's fighting
in January.
In January, but nothing has been announced.
Nope.
This is a cluster F because if you announce any fight with Conor McGregor right now, you're giving yourself 8 weeks total to promote it.
Yeah,
and that is just not enough time for a fight of Conor McGregor's magnitude, whether you love him or hate him. I mean, the fight for Floyd Mayweather, the build-up spanned like 3 months, dude, and press conferences in Los Angeles and England and Paris and wherever the hell they had in New York, and it's just not enough time, man. So it puts Conor McGregor in a bad spot again because you said you're going to fight in January and like kind of force the issue, and now you're not. So now nobody's going to believe a word you say anymore going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But it sucks too because I want to see him fight again. He wants to fight. So something's up where I don't know if the UFC doesn't want to pay him anymore, which I doubt. But something's up, man. Something's up.
Yeah, for sure. Who knows, man? So I'm just looking back as far as I can go. At the moment, one of the big ones that I'm excited for, considering that we're in Houston, Texas, which is going to be reports are UFC 247 here in Houston at the Toyota Center.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first ones that was announced was Juan Adams taking on Justin Tafa at UFC 247. Juan Adams, Houston's own Juan Adams, looking to get back on the winning side. I'm excited for this because this is actually a fight I think Juan Adams can win.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff going on with Juan Adams, man. He's a great follow on Twitter and Instagram. Apparently, I don't have Instagram, but apparently he's a good follow on there as well. He's changing camps. So as soon as he got the bout agreement signed, he packed up his stuff and he went out to Jackson Wink to go train out there. So he is really taking this seriously. He says that he's gotten as far as he's gotten with what he had to do, like to work with, basically not disparaging his old team, but just saying that he just needed more to get well rounded and to get where he needs to be. So he made that move, and he literally packed up all his stuff and took off over there.
Yeah.
So I expect a lot from Juan Adams. I've told you before, he has a great skill set. He just needs to put it all together. I think the Greg Hardy fight was a little too much too fast, and not necessarily in Greg Hardy the fighter. I'm talking about the buzz and the weight of it, the magnitude of how much pressure was going to be on him, especially after he called him out like that. So I don't know, man. It like you said, I think it's a winnable fight. I want to see how much he improves going to this new camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. So that's one for 247. I think the one before that we talked about last week was Lauren Murphy taking on Andrea KGB Lee. I know I'm pretty sure we're both excited for that fight. I'm excited for this fight. Another thing we didn't talk about before we get to the other fights that were announced was Ben Askren retiring from the UFC. I don't think it comes as a surprise to either of us. No,
I mean, he's had, I don't want to say bad showings, but very mediocre showings in the UFC.
Yeah, he looked that was a good fight against him in Maya.
Yeah, it was, but I mean, he got choked out, dude.
Like, he got choked out. He just wasn't good enough. But he's the BJJ guy going against the wrestling guy. Like but that was what's going to happen.
But think about it, man. He just joined the list of how many other fighters that have gotten choked out by Damian Maia. There's some fighters that haven't been choked out, and those are the ones that are more recognizable or more notable than being choked out. Mm-hmm. And then he got knocked out by Masvidal, who's on a career resurgence. And then he got a controversial win against Robbie Lawler, who the couple fights after that, Robbie Lawler hasn't looked great either. So I don't know, man. He just came over at an older age.
Hmm.
He by staying away from the UFC, he didn't have the level of competition in the UFC.
Yeah,
So his he didn't evolve. He didn't um, fight the fighters that would push him to evolve. Um, and so I just think he just got started in the UFC way too late. He had a not well-rounded skill set, and by not well-rounded, I don't even mean he doesn't have to be a great striker. He just has to know not to get hit, or how not to get hit, or how to use his wrestling in an MMA setting. But his striking was just horrible, man, just horrible. His
that
striking and striking defense was just horrible, man.
that meme went around of him doing the spinning
The little
backflip.
spinning, yes, dude. Like
It
I don't
was,
know, man. And honestly, though, man, I give the guy a lot of props for understanding where he is in his career,
mhm.
that he knows he can't compete at this level of the UFC, and to just basically cut his losses, because before going into the UFC, he was one of the top welterweights in the world.
Yeah,
He was going to go down as one of the top welterweights in the world with that win streak that he had. After the UFC, now he's like everything's being questioned. So he could have tried to stay and say, "Let me get some easy wins and leave on a high note." But he just knows his time has passed, and he doesn't deserve to get beat up anymore, and he doesn't deserve to go. What is it called? Like pursuing or chasing something that's probably not gonna come to him.
yeah. Well, in my eyes, he's 0-3 in the UFC. So
That what?
he's 0-3 in the UFC in my eyes.
In your eyes?
Yeah,
I mean, I would probably agree with that, man. But hey, he's put on a hell of a career.
yeah.
He had some great fights.
Good on him, man. To have the just the I don't even know what it's called, man. But when you can walk away from a sport that you love, man, like probably before you probably should. Like who knows? He might have one more win in him, but he
The
says, you know what?
gumption to have
Yeah,
the gumption.
be able to like a hit, like reflect on you and like reflect on your past performances. Be like, you know what? I'm good.
But here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say, and I
Go
want
ahead.
this to be said and on the record. This will go down as the worst freaking trade in the history of the UFC.
Yeah, let's look at it. So we have 0-3 Ben Askren.
0-3 Ben
Technically
Askren.
1-2, but he's 0-3 in my eyes. Against champion over there in one championship, Demetrius Johnson. So who wins this trade? I'm gonna
So
think it's one championship.
and the thing is, dude, you drop in Demetrius Johnson into the 125-pound and even 135-pound mix in the UFC. How much more exciting would those divisions be right now,
Yeah,
dude?
we'll be getting Cejudo versus we have Cejudo versus Demetrius Johnson coming up. That'd be great, man.
Moraes versus,
Moraes,
you know what I'm saying? Jan,
Jan, Uriah Faber's back, and all that good
Aljamain
stuff.
Sterling.
Oh
You
man,
know,
it'd be
it
fantastic.
just would have been awesome, dude. But it is what it is. They made this decision. Demetrius
Yeah,
Johnson and Dana White weren't on the same page, which sucks. But Demetrius Johnson has done well for himself over there. He's had some tough fights, but he ended up becoming the flyweight champion over there.
yeah.
But it's just a bad trade overall. It's a bad look. The guy that you got is retired. He took a bunch of money from you and ran with it and left. And
Dana
the
will
guy,
not be trading for another person
and
for a while.
yeah, and he's not gonna take Joe Rogan's advice for a while either, man. Because Joe Rogan was the one who kind of buttered the hands or the elbows to get them together to make this deal. And I don't know, man. It just sucks because now we have Demetrius Johnson stuck over there in ONE FC,
Yeah, we
and
can't get
he's fighting
him.
some tough competition, but nobody knows who they are. Like I know who they are, but that's because I'm a hardcore. But nobody else knows who they are.
Yeah,
And it just sucks, dude. It just sucks. I wish he was still in the UFC, man.
yeah. All right, so announced for January 25th, which is the Raleigh card.
Mm-hmm.
Rafael Dos Anjos taking on Michael Chiesa. This is going to be an interesting fight, man. Like, because Chiesa looked amazing in his last fight. He looked dominant in his last fight.
Chiesa's he's on the rise.
Yeah, and Dos Anjos doesn't look to be stopping, man.
And Dos Anjos is kind of like a little bit of a rise,
Like, he's not plateauing yet, but he's on his way.
He's not plateauing yet, but he's a wily veteran, a cagey veteran now that's been in a lot of wars.
And I mean, Chiesa's the wrestler, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Chiesa's a wrestler, and he's a big
Dos Anjos
dude.
can wrestle, man.
Dos Anjos is a wrestler too, though. Like he knows how
That's
to
what I'm
wrestle.
saying.
He's a Brazilian used to black belt.
It's gonna be an interesting fight, man.
Yeah, it is. Very exciting fight. Looking forward. As I'm telling you, man, January and February in the UFC, there's a lot of interesting fights coming up, man. Like we haven't even talked about the other ones on the Houston card.
Yeah, well, we're about to go to the next one, which is going to be probably the co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko is expected to is going
hold
to.
on, hold on, hold on. You're forgetting about the Derek Lewis get right fight.
Oh well, I'm just going based on how they were announced.
Okay, all right, okay.
I haven't even heard that one. Derek Lewis and who?
He's fighting a low ranked heavyweight in a get right fight.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Latifi.
Yeah. He's not even a heavyweight. He's a light heavyweight moving up to heavyweight.
Yeah, this is the gaming one for Derek Lewis because the hometown boy, so they want to get him on the card
against a name.
Yeah, you don't think Derek Lewis has to really train much, I'm assuming, but
well, Alir Latifi is a tough dude. He's fought at heavyweight before, but he's very undersized for heavyweight. He's more undersized than Daniel Cormier, so that's
undersized. He's a little not undersized, but he's not big for light heavyweight either.
No, he's not. That's what I'm saying. Like he's undersized already to begin with.
Yeah.
But it's just a get right fight for Derek Lewis, in my opinion. Like
they're feeding Latifi to.
Like they're giving him enough of a challenge. They're giving him enough of a name so people know that he's not fighting a complete a jobber, if you will. But it's a way to get his name back up and get him a win to try to push him to the upper ranks again to try to get him
in his hometown. So it's
he
doesn't have to travel or anything because he lives here too. So
yeah,
you don't have to worry about it. It's a gimme fight. Next one, the one I'm kind of interested in, man. I'm starting to get a little bit more interested in it. Is Valentina Shevchenko defending her flyweight title against Chikagian, because we've seen how Shevchenko will handle someone that is kind of like one of those like managers.
Dude, I feel like
Shevchenko has to go in there and kill her, man.
I feel like Shevchenko's a blind spot for you, man. Like,
is she? Why?
Yeah, because why are you interested in this fight, man? You know how this fight's gonna end.
Because I saw the one that she had with what's her name, Carmouche. Nothing like, and dude. First of all, I just rewatched that damn head kick because how do you not go back and rewatch that head kick? It's amazing. And I love Shevchenko. I told you that when she was in the fight Carmouche, I was like, man, this might be a good card. I was vouching for it. It disappointed me. It did. Like I looked like an idiot because I was telling you like, man, watch out for this card. Watch out for this card. It was crap. That was a bad card, and she didn't look great against Carmouche.
Mm-mm.
So she hasn't been fighting lately. She's been too busy modeling. She's been too busy dyeing her hair. She's been too busy doing all this. Chikagian looks 100% invested in this. This is going to be one of those. If Chikagian wins, it's going to be a 5-round fight. It's going to be a 5-round fight that goes to decision. She's going to avoid her. That thing is Shevchenko willing to go in there and get the KO? Because Chikagian is going to fight around you. She's going to make sure she keeps you at a distance. That's how she fought JoJo. It's how she fought this last what was it? What was it? God damn, I forget her name. The Brazilian, the one that's always like 6 pounds overweight.
I don't remember. Betch Correa? It wasn't Correa, right?
Oh, it wasn't Correa. It was somebody else. I can't remember her name. But yeah, like she's gonna fight around her. She's not gonna go towards her. So it's gonna be up to Shevchenko to be the aggressor. If Shevchenko's gonna be the aggressor,
Shevchenko's gonna mop the floor with her, dude.
All right, let's see it. Let's see it. Like I thought that's what I was going to see whenever she fought Carmouche, and she didn't.
Yeah, but Carmouche has the experience of a veteran fighter. She also has the experience of fighting her before, and she freaking stayed away from her pretty much the whole fight because she didn't want to get knocked out. So
all right, that's the thing. But I'm just saying, like this is this is sports. I gotta go based off what I saw last. What I saw last was a very unimpressive fight. I want to see her, and you don't think I'm pulling for Shevchenko? You're out of your mind. Of course I'm pulling.
No, I know. I just feel like telling you, man. It's like when Mike Tyson was in his heyday. So I think Mike Tyson, his first 19 fights, 17 of them were finished in the first round. I mean, that's kind of where we're in with Shevchenko minus Carmouche. Like They're just not on the same level right now, man. There's just
All right.
nobody out there.
Let's see it because I'm gonna be there. Like we're gonna be there. Show me a knockout. Impress me.
We're
Get
gonna be there. Armbars and suplexes are gonna be there.
yes. I want to throw my beer in the air because she kills Chicago. As much as I liked her when I heard her talking, but when you hear someone talk, I have to put personal feelings aside. Like I want to see someone get killed. Honestly, she killed Jessica Eye.
She did. She did. I think she's still recovering.
She is still recovering. All right. So the main event for that fight was announced. We are getting
it has been announced.
John Jones defending his 205 light heavyweight title against Dominic Reyes. The fight I think everyone wants to see.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the one that everyone knows. Everyone's like, who knows? This dude might do it. But we're all expecting John Jones to not. He's gonna do the Thiago Santos thing. We're just not gonna engage him.
I mean, I think that's a really, really good possibility. Dominic Reyes is not a small dude by any stretch. He's 6'4". So the only problem is he doesn't have as long arms as John Jones, but he does use his kicks. He does use his kicks very well. He can take a punch. He's a fighter. He's not scared to mix it up. I just don't think it's a great matchup for him. You know, John Jones is he's a beast everywhere.
I also haven't seen Dominic Reyes wrestle, whereas we know John Jones can wrestle.
Dominic Reyes can wrestle. I believe he has a wrestling background. He just doesn't use it because he likes to strike.
Yeah. Thing, like, is he gonna want to what happens if John Jones wants to take it to the ground? Like, can Dominic Reyes hang?
Yeah, that's the other thing. But the thing about it, dang dude, John Jones was up as a negative 455 favorite over Dominic Reyes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah.
The thing is, dude, is that I don't know, man. I feel like he's kind of doing what remember I told you what Mayweather does, where he's getting them on like when they're early, you know. And I think Dominic Reyes, like I told you, I think he needed to lose to Ozdemir to learn how to lose, so he doesn't lose again. And he didn't. He got the win on the judges' scorecards, even though I thought he lost. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't looked that great. He just hasn't looked that great to get it. He's just on a streak, and he's the best one to make the fight. I think they picked Reyes because he's Hispanic in Houston, and John Jones has been wanting to fight. John Jones wanted to fight in December, but he just didn't have a dance partner. But I think the real fight to make, let's say John Jones wins, is against Corey Anderson, man. I think that's the fight to make.
That's probably next, most likely, if he gets past Dominic Reyes, which we're both expecting him to. Corey Anderson's next, but I honestly don't see anybody challenging John Jones, man. I don't. This is just one of those. This is one of those divisions that's going to be kind of held up until John Jones decides to call it quits.
Yeah. So, real quick, Reyes just has an MMA background. He just went straight into MMA training.
Oh, okay. So even worse for him.
Yeah, I just think that it's just a bad matchup. Now here's the thing I will say: if John Jones has a subpar
performance
showing or performance, then we're probably seeing the decline of John Jones because he hasn't had great showings against middleweights, Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos, which you thought Thiago Santos was probably the winner of that fight, right? At some point, you thought that. He was. Especially fighting on two broken knees. Yeah. So if he follows those performances up with a bad performance against Dominic Reyes, then we might see the decline of John Jones in real time.
If we see a performance like he did against Thiago Santos but still wins, I might pick Corey Anderson in the next fight.
I know, man. That's the thing, man. Corey Anderson,
he's hungry.
He's hungry. He's not afraid. He has been knocked out in the past. Remember, I told you those knockouts kind of leave an impression. But like he said himself, he's well aware of that, and he feels he's changed. Exactly. And he's been asking for the fights, and he's been beating up fools, man. He beat up Johnny Walker, dude. I mean, he beat him up, dude.
He made Johnny Walker look bad, which I think honestly, I think Johnny Walker's gonna end up coming back even better than ever. But he humbled him for sure.
Exactly, he humbled him. And actually, I think Johnny Walker just called out somebody too.
Yeah, great.
I think he called out Chris Weidman.
When I see him go back, oh no, that's low hanging fruit.
I mean, coming out for 2 losses, and Chris Weidman is a big name. Chris Weidman will take whatever right now, man, because he's lucky to have a fight in the UFC if he gets it.
Yeah,
But
that keeps you from going on a two loss streak.
yeah,
If you're Johnny Walker, it makes you where you're like 1-1-1. So
and it's a former champion. You can say he beat a former champion in Chris Weidman. It's a big name.
You're right.
He's smart to do that. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of interested in this Corey Anderson fight. I kind of want to see what he has, and then also just depending on how if John Jones steamrolls Reyes, and I don't think Anderson would have a chance.
Nope.
But if he struggles again, then I think he might have a chance because his wrestling is probably not as good as Jones, but it's enough to not get manhandled on the ground, or not get thrown to the ground like everybody else.
Yeah, I'd be willing to say that if not even if he looks as bad as he looked in that Thiago Santos fight, but if John Jones looks timid, where he just doesn't look like he wants to engage, I will give Corey Anderson the advantage still. Because if you're John Jones, but you don't want to go in there and mix it up with Dominic Reyes, which you can understand, but at the same time, like Corey Anderson, all Corey Anderson's going to do is he's going to be watching that. He doesn't have to take any fights. Like, he's set. Like he's ready to go. Before he's next in line for that belt, I believe. So he doesn't have to go in there having a fight.
I don't know because Santos should be coming back already after because. Remember, John Jones isn't fighting until February. That's 3 months from now.
That's true.
You still got Santos. You still got Anthony Smith out there. I'd like to see them mix it up with Corey Anderson.
That'd be a great fight.
And whoever wins is the clear-cut number one guy,
Sure, yeah.
But I don't know if the UFC wants to do that either, though.
Also, Anthony Smith has been kind of quiet lately.
He's been hurt, too. I think he had some sort of surgery, too.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, let's jump into a few more fights before we just real quick takes. PVZ is announced to fighting Amanda Ribas in UFC Brasilia in March. This is your girl. You love PVZ.
That's not true.
Why is she going to strawweight? Is she avoiding Macy Barber?
I mean, that's what it looks like, man. That's what it looks like. That's a bad look for her. That's a very bad look for her.
Why do you want to go face Whaley? Like, you need to go back up there and face her.
She's not trying to fight Whaley, man. She's trying to fight nobody. Why
are you fighting the strawweight division?
I feel like she's trying to, and I'm gonna be honest. I feel like Yair does this a lot too. Like, remember I told you, like they'll get one win, and then they like ride that wave as long as possible. I'm a UFC fighter. I have wins. But they're not really trying to get to the top of the division. They're not really trying to get there. They're like, I just beat up Jeremy Stevens. I had a lot of controversy, but I'm going to take some time off right now.
I'm lucky I would do that to you.
I feel like that's like Paige Van Zandt, dude. Like, she doesn't want the tough fights. She doesn't want to beat up her pretty face, which I understand, man, at this point. I mean, she said point blank she makes more money on modeling than she does in the fight game. So, all the fight game is doing right now is just keeping her relevant, keeping her name out there, giving her a little bit of cash. So she has to, honestly, she has to take the easier fights that are not going to get her beat up, dude. So
I don't necessarily think Ribas is an easy fight either, especially in Brazil.
And not in Brazil, but she should be bigger than her. So
but even then, like you have to wonder, is she going to have a hard time making weight? We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll only see. All right. Next up, Anthony Pettis has announced his next fight against Diego Ferreira in the lightweight division. So moving away from the welterweight, going down to lightweight.
Dude, this frustrates me so much, man.
It sounds like he doesn't sound like he's fighting for championships anymore. He just kind of
he's not.
Wherever he can get it.
This is what frustrates me. I'm at 170 pounds. I don't have to make the cut anymore. I'm stronger than I've ever felt. This and that.
Dominated, or you break your foot on one leg check, on one check.
Now let me go running back to 155, where I'm not as strong as I was at 170. I have trouble making the weight. My cardio is gonna suffer. Like,
that division is starting to stack up.
Yeah, like what are you doing? What are you doing? Kevin Lee's back at 155. He knocked out Gregor Gillespie. I don't know, man.
That's the thing is, like, Kevin Lee announced his reintroduction back into the lightweight in spectacular fashion, knocking out a dude that no one expected him to beat. That's a great reintroduction to your lightweight division. Like,
But you're fighting who? Who are you fighting?
the hell is what's it? Diego
He's not
Pereira.
even ranked. He's not even ranked.
Like, dude, you're Anthony Pettis. You should be fighting top 15 guys. And this upsets me because you know how much of a Anthony Pettis fan I am.
I know. I was gonna ask you like what does this do to your fandom?
This upsets me, man. Like, I mean, I'm still a fan. I'm still gonna watch the fight, but this upsets me, man. I want to see him go back to that glory of being a champion, man. But this isn't gonna do it. If you want to go back to 155, like, why aren't you challenging in top 50? Challenge Gregor Gillespie. Gillespie needs a win right now. Challenge Gillespie.
You know what would have been a great fight, dude? Him and Qatar. Well,
that'd be a great fight, yeah. But that's below him, isn't it?
Is that 145? That is 145. Yeah, because he fights a beat. My bad.
Yeah.
But just somebody like that is gonna come forward.
Looking to make a name for themselves.
Huh?
Looking to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, like they wouldn't need it as much as Pettis would need it, but they're good matchups for each other. Like it's a up in the air, you know, not this Diego Who guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Who else is at 155, dude? I want to see the rankings now just to see who he should have fought instead of this guy.
All right, you pull that up. Go over a little bit of the news again. Mallory Martin, which is a Dana White's Contender Series winner, she's actually replacing somebody in this upcoming UFC on ESPN 7, which is, let me get the date. That is next week, December 7th card. She's replacing Verna. Oh no, sorry. She's replacing Levina Souza to take on Verna Jandriroba on very short notice. So it'd be interesting to see how she does. She's obviously trying to get in good with the UFC. You know Dana White loves when people take fights on short notice and jump in. So Mallory Martin is someone that I liked in the Dana White Contender Series. She's a great wrestler. These women are great. Like, wrestlers are really starting to like grow on me where they just dominate. We saw with Tracy Cortez. You know what we'll see with Mallory Martin here.
Real quick. Edson Barbosa's number 10. Anthony Pettis is number 11. Gregor Gillespie's number 12. Charles Oliveira's number 13. Alexander Hernandez is number 14. Islam Makhachev is number 15.
Dude, take Oliveira. Jump Oliveira.
Dude, Alexander Hernandez would have been a great fight for him. That would have been a great fight for him.
Take Edson Barbosa.
Barbosa would have been a great fight for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are guys that are ranked. This guy's not ranked. I don't know.
They're looking for fights too. Like,
he's just horrible.
All those guys are looking for fights. Like, they're all coming off of losses. They're looking to make some kind of name for themselves.
Islam Makhachev is not coming off a loss, but he just broke into the 15th.
He's probably gonna be fighting Kevin Lee next up.
You think so? Oh yeah, they cut them out. They cut each other out, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm right there with you, dude. All right, another real quick. Mickey Gall pulls out of UFC out of next week's fight card against Carlos Condit. So we'll see if they get a replacement or not.
That sucks, man. I don't think Condit is going to take that fight, whoever it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it.
Josh Emmett versus Arnold Allen is announced for UFC Raleigh, which is...
Oh, man. That's going to be a good fight.
That's going to be a fun fight because, I like Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen's is a really good fighter, but man, Josh Emmett's gonna be a tough challenge for him.
Yeah, he's been tough too.
And two guys that are looking to make a name for themselves. That's the best kind of fight you could have. Is two guys that are looking to make a name for themselves. Mm-hmm. Another one right here. Boom. Headlining UFC in New Zealand, which is UFC Auckland, which is taking place on February 22nd. Paul Felder headlining against Dan Hooker.
Man,
holy shit! Like, that's a great fight, man.
That's a good fight, but I feel like it's a tough matchup for Felder, man. And I like Felder.
Yeah, I do too, man. He's fun, but man, yeah, it's gonna be tough, but that's gonna be a good fight. Both those guys are just scrapping.
Dude, Dan Hooker's a beast, man. Dan Hooker's a beast, and he's a big dude. But Dan Felder comes forward, and he can take shots, and he's smart now. Like, his fight IQ has gone up a lot, tremendously, ever since he started being a commentator. So that's a big fight, man. I'm excited about that fight too.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude. Next first quarter, first 4 months of the year is starting to stack up for the UFC.
That's all I got at the moment.
You haven't even talked about Khabib, man. You haven't talked about Khabib.
Oh, man. You're right. Hold on, real quick. Nathaniel Wood. I don't know if you know Nathaniel Wood. He said he wants, if Marlon Vera won't fight him at UFC London, he wants Cody Garbrandt. What do you think about that? We haven't seen Cody Garbrandt in a while since he looks stupid in his last fight.
I don't think we should see him for a while. I'd rather see Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera had some pretty good wins in the past past year, and I want to see more of him. I think you say you want to see more of him too. So I'd rather see that fight than Garbrandt. We know what Garbrandt is right now, you know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I didn't forget, man. I'm saving it. It's the main event. The main event. We might be finally getting it, but then once again, I have to underline might.
So.
Aren't you a little worried that they're announcing it so close?
Well, first of all, they haven't announced it.
Well, they haven't announced it, but what's his name? Habib's manager been posting the damn fight contract and shit. So.
And you know why they're doing that?
Because they're pushing. They're trying to force.
They're trying to force Ferguson to sign the fight card, and Ferguson is negotiating, and Dana White is pushing Ferguson to sign, and Ferguson wants to get his money. So, which is fair. It's fair. I mean, it's a championship fight. He's been a champion. He hasn't lost since he was a champion, an interim champion. And this fight has been put on how many times? How many times have they tried to schedule this fight?
This is be the third, right? Or this is be the fourth.
This is the fourth time they tried to schedule.
Third time. So this is the 3 times it's been canceled. So twice on injury. Twice on injury. One on
one he couldn't make weight or something like that.
Yeah.
Khabib couldn't. So. This is the fourth time, man. This has to happen. Ferguson's gonna sign eventually. You know, he's not stupid either. He knows he needs to get this fight. But man, this is the fight that we've all been waiting for, man. I mean, this is a big fight.
They're aiming for April, right?
What's up?
They're aiming for April?
Yeah, April 22nd in Brooklyn, I think it's where it's gonna be at.
Yeah, Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn.
So I'm excited about that. Oh, but the thing about it though is it's a horrible commission. It's a New York State Athletic Commission, which is horrible. Well, so
the good thing is Tony Ferguson doesn't get cut. So,
but he cuts a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. So I'll be okay. I want Ferguson to win.
So if Ferguson wins on a cut, you don't think they're gonna be saying, "Oh, this is bullcrap"? This is
Habib getting cut. Honestly, man, like Habib's tough as nails, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dagestanis, they don't. I mean, besides his brother, they're tough as nails.
I don't know, man. I'm really excited about this fight. I think I have Ferguson winning.
Ferguson's gonna keep. He's gonna keep Habib standing. I think.
I don't know, man. I think he's gonna get taken down a couple times. I mean, Khabib takes down everybody. The difference is gonna be that.
Can he keep him down?
No, it's not even that. I think that Ferguson's gonna be able to tie him up and not take damage on the floor, and I feel he's not gonna get tired.
He's not gonna get up.
He's gonna take him into the later rounds, and that's when Khabib's gonna get tired. And I think round 3 and on is when Ferguson is gonna do his work, and he's probably gonna either win a decision by winning the 3, 4, and 5. Or somehow get a stoppage, maybe choke him out whenever Khabib is tired. That's my thought process right now, leading into the fight.
You're not going to hear Ferguson say, "I can't get him off of me."
Yeah,
one of my biggest. I think that's my biggest miss in our whole predictions is that
Poirier.
Yeah, I had so much faith in Poirier, and I have to admit when I was wrong, man. I bet on the wrong horse.
Dude, Poirier, Poirier is another great follow on Twitter, dude. I've been following him for a while.
He's trying to fight.
Yeah, he wants to fight. But they asked him. I think it was today or yesterday. You know, he's just been, ask me anything, and he'll respond sometimes. But they asked him who's the hardest puncher he's faced, and he said, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, it was Conor McGregor, dude.
Wow.
So remember this guy. Who has this guy fought? Who has he beat up?
Poirier,
he's beat Pettis, right?
Yeah, he's beat up Pettis, beat up Holloway.
He beat up Gaethje.
And so he beat up Gaethje, and he says that Conor's hands are the hardest.
Conor, hands down, he said.
Did Gaethje lay hands on him though?
Yeah, dude. You don't remember that fight?
I mean, I didn't watch that fight.
You haven't watched that fight?
No, you didn't tell me to.
Dude, you need to watch the Poirier Gaethje fight, and you need to watch the Alvarez Gaethje fight too, dude.
Okay.
Have you watched the Alvarez Gaethje fight?
No.
Oh my god, dude. Those 2 fights.
There's a lot of wrestling going on in the world, man. What do you want me to do?
I don't blame you. I mean, I don't blame you, man. That was
tough to watch. But
but
then I
those
have,
are
I have like trivia matches to study for, and it sucks.
dude. It's just okay. It happened last year. That's why it happened last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't catch that. Like I'm this year exclusively. My first experience at Poirier was the Holloway fight.
Okay, so yeah, dude. So
I've seen his fight against McGregor. Like I've seen the clip, and it's not good.
no, dude, that fight was probably one of the worst showings for Poirier. It later came out that he was going through some stuff personally, but I don't think it would have changed a lot. He's just a bad matchup. They're both lefties.
Yeah.
And McGregor's just a lot faster and more creative a striker. Now though, Poirier has reimagined himself as a fighter, and he fights a different fight style.
He's still
he's a lot bigger. He has a lot more power. He's not draining himself at 145.
Yeah.
But dude, go back and watch Gaethje versus Poirier and Gaethje versus Alvarez, dude.
All right,
those are two badass fights, dude.
All right, I will do that. Everybody else, y'all do that too. But we got to call it a night, man. We've been going about 2:15 now.
We've been doing this thing for 2 days now, guys.
Basically.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. We will be back Sunday night. I think we should be back.
Sunday night we'll be back.
Talk about a little bit of stuff. Maybe we can just more of a free flow conversation. If we have some people in the chat, we can talk about whatever they want to talk about at the same time too. I don't expect news to come out between now and Sunday, so it could be more of a free flow conversation.
I'll tell you one thing though. I will have watched The Irishman by then, so we could talk about that too.
I don't have 3 hours of time to give to that movie at the
moment. I'm making time right now, man. I'm gonna start watching it right now. I'll probably watch an hour and a half of it right now.
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm gonna fall asleep. And I have to work on Friday, so.
Oh, you got to work Friday, dude?
Yeah, I'll be at work on Friday, so.
Damn, dude.
And then it's Saturday because I know you were thinking about doing this Saturday, but I have a whole bunch of stuff that I do on Saturday, and then Sunday I just want to sit. Oh, I have a wedding to go to on Sunday. Fuck me, god damn. I'm gonna be busy. I'll probably watch The Irishman next weekend or something. But I'm excited. I really watch it.
Dude, I've been hearing nothing but good things about it. I'm excited about it. He's one of my favorite directors.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
This might be blasphemy for someone who's been a movie fan for as long as I have. I just watched Goodfellas a couple months ago.
Are you serious, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, Goodfellas is so good, dude. It's such a good one.
It's good. It's great. I mean, it's not great. I'm sorry. I don't love it as much as everybody else does, but I think it was overhyped so much, and I have two stuck in my head.
Yeah. That happens. That happens.
Godfather 2 is like the pinnacle of like gangster movies.
Yeah, I would say that. I'd say. I mean, it's just also like a preference thing. Like you have that. You have Goodfellas. You have Casino. Casino's up there too.
Yeah. I like Scarface a lot. I don't love it as much as everybody else does.
Yeah, Scarface is more. I don't know, dude. Like I don't know how to describe. More edgier, more in your face, more raunchy, more raunchy. You know. Even though like they don't show him cutting the guy up with the chainsaw and the thing, you just see the blood. You just see the blood, but still. And then all the time it said the word "fuck," you know, like it had the record at the time or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I guess The Godfather 2 and Goodfellas is up there. And the thing about Goodfellas though, dude, is based on a true story.
Yeah, it's Henry Hill and all that.
Yeah.
I think what I like the most is the beginning and like that first half of the movie, and then when it starts to go downhill, I think after they killed Joe Pesci is when I kind of like it kind of just like starts to plateau. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of it stays at a certain area.
But you didn't see that coming though, did you?
No, I didn't. And I was expecting like after that I was expecting shit to hit the fan. It didn't really hit the fan. Like I was expecting like some crazy shootout because I didn't know the story of Henry Hill. I didn't know he was actually in police custody and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that. I was thinking like he's gonna have some kind of comeuppance and blah blah, and he didn't have it. So I think that was like.
Well, I guess that's the thing too. They had limitations because it's based on a true story, so they couldn't go off the rails on it. But it's still a great movie, a great gangster movie. Right, there's also Bronx Tale as a gangster movie. There's also
I don't like crime movies, honestly. I don't.
Carlito's Way. You see Carlito's Way?
All these, man. Like crime movies are probably my like least classics and crime movies are like my least watched. Whereas like me, comedies, horror, and comic book movies are like my top 3 categories.
Yeah.
Where I can answer like a lot of questions on comedies. Like I fucking love comedy. Like,
yeah, so I don't know, man. I guess I'm jack of all trades, master of none. You know, I like comedies, horror, thrillers, gangster movies. I mean, dude, have you seen Untouchables? Old school gangster movies?
That's Kevin Costner, right? I haven't seen.
Yeah, dude, that one.
I know all these damn. I don't know these damn facts about him, but I don't know. I haven't seen the movies, and I need to get back.
Yeah, dude, those are. So I don't know, man. The Untouchables is really good. I like Carlito's Way a lot. I like that one a lot. There's just a lot of. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just a lover of good movies, man. You know, good stories.
Also, you know what we can talk about on Sunday? If we have time to talk, let's talk Mandalorian. I'm assuming you've.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Mandalorian. I know episode 4 will be out by then. We can
talk about that. That'd be dope, dude. Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna call it quits, man. I'm ready to head out. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at what the fuck? God damn it! This is weird. There it is. Follow me on Alec Miller 0423. I'll be probably talking. I'll be talking football a lot tomorrow on Twitter. I'm trying to get more out there on Twitter, more interactive. So I will be probably talking about those games on Twitter. I am starting Josh Allen, so I have an invested interest in tomorrow's game against the Cowboys. Josh Allen has been my boy lately. I have him and Baker let me down in a few games. And you know what? Josh Allen has not.
I have John Brown.
All right, there you go. See you watch. So yeah, follow me there for all things movies, TV, wrestling, MMA, sports, and all that stuff. And then follow.
You can follow me at The Real Jesus right there. Bang bang. Spelled JEEZUS. I'll be on Twitter tomorrow talking about food, talking about the NFL, talking about some basketball coming up, and also comic book stuff that's been going on. Man, I just found out recently that I don't know if you knew, but Krasinski had a what's it called, like a read through while wearing Captain America's suit. He was gonna be Captain America. Krasinski? Yes, dude. He was gonna be.
God, I gotta see that.
And then he said he didn't want to do it after he saw Chris Hemsworth as Thor, and he was like, "It's not for me."
Yeah, you got buff from Jack Ryan though.
Yeah, well, yeah, but this is pre-buff Jim.
This is still Office Krasinski.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So he probably saw, peak Thor with the hair and everything, and he's like, "Man, I'm not in the right movie right now."
That's right. We got the right guy, I think. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, this is Armbars and Suplexes. We will see you guys next Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah.
Guys, we'll see y'all next week. Next Sunday. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Have a happy Thanksgiving. Spend it with family if you can.
Yes. And, have a good time. Eat some good food.
Watch some football.
I'll be drinking beer tomorrow while I can. And have a great weekend, guys. So we will see you guys Sunday.
Peace. AMF.